Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-splaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. How are you guys doing? Yes, I know. I love that when I'm early, it's news. It's breaking news. Rekieta Law is early. Dear Lord, what are we going to do? I don't know. Oh, man. How are you guys doing? I see someone saying they're depressed. It's, you know, tomorrow, excuse me, tomorrow's likely to be a tough day for quite a few Americans. Tomorrow's gonna be tough. We're gonna have to eat a bunch of dirt. Just a whole lot of it. Just shove down the dirt right in your throat. It's gonna be fun. But anyway, we're not gonna focus too much on that tonight. We've got a couple things to do. We've got some videos to look at today. We've got some discussion around proposed changes, what we're in for the next several years, at least 2, if not 4. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna watch Trump's farewell speech. It is 20 minutes long. I will, I'll pause it and give thoughts and stuff as we go through. I haven't watched it yet, so I hope not everybody here has watched it either. What is even happening? But that'll be something to see. He did give a farewell address today, so we'll be watching that. Well, I don't know if the video is 20 minutes long. His address might not be 20 minutes, so we'll watch that and see what's going on there. And then we're going to cool down the end of the night with what I have as a legal video review, where we'll be watching a couple videos that have nothing to do with politics and more just like, is this legal type stuff. So that'll be, just some law related stuff that we can all deprogram over a bit. So yeah, it'll be fun. We'll do that. And then, as always, I don't know how long the show is going to go. We'll see. Typically, these shows can go about 3 hours. Sometimes they're a little shorter. Sometimes they're a little longer. It depends on me, you, and me, and the news and the stories, and also this bottle of wine. Any rants tonight are sponsored officially without their permission by Ménage à Trois Wine. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon from California, 2018, I guess. But it's also aged 3 months in bourbon barrels, resulting in a rich, full-bodied expression of Cabernet Sauvignon. So, the reason I'm drinking a bottle of red wine is because I used some of it to actually cook a pot roast today. So I cooked a pot roast. It was delicious. I braised it in the wine and a little bit of beef broth. But that being said, I now have an open bottle of wine, and you have to drink wine. You can't just keep drinking it, or you can't just leave it there, because then it'll go bad, and that's ridiculous. What did I have with it? Well, carrots, potatoes, onions, celery. It's an American meal. Anyway, I got it because it was aged in bourbon barrels. It's quite good. If you like Cabernet Sauvignon. No, Phil D's, it was not an Instapot roast. It was a regular pot roast. So anyway, I'll be drinking that out of my official Make-A-Wish Minnesota wine glass. This show is not sponsored by Make-A-Wish or Menage a Trois. That was completely a joke. Not a very funny one, but it was a joke. It's not true. Don't be mad at them for all the things I'm about to say. So anyway, I did have a couple videos come out today, and the one I want to point out one, it's doing really well. Many of you might have seen it, but Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was dropping some bombs on his Twitter account, and it was really, really making people mad, which I enjoyed quite a bit. It is really good to see people get so worked up about something that is just not that big of a deal. Mike Pompeo gave a sign-off. He gave a sign-off of, his time as Secretary of State, touted some of his achievements, shared some thoughts, and people were like, look at what Pompeo is tweeting from his official government account. It's like, so what? Why is this a problem for you? So I covered it. Your mom watched the Pompeo video? Yes. Hopefully she liked it. I liked what he was saying. It's a good video. Not because of me, but because of him. Mostly. So it was good, but I encourage you to check it out. I could pull up the tweets on here, but we've got other stuff to talk about. We've got other stuff to say. So, if Twitter can disable them, are they really official government accounts? Well, that's a solid question, my friend. That's a solid question. No one can really decide. Oh yeah, Twitter's not important at all. But when someone tweets about oh my God, they get mad. Grift likes before I start? Why? So, the world will be watching tomorrow. Unfortunately, no one will be watching in person. However, it's okay because the arms of Joe Biden will be illuminated by light and extend to embrace America. And there are like 10 billion flags planted in front of where Joe will be speaking, since they won't be allowing people there. He's truly a man of the people, which is why they're not letting any people nearby. He will be surrounded by National Guardsmen who have all been tested for party loyalty. I'm not making this up. I wish I was joking, because this sounds like North Korea. It sounds like North Korea. Don't worry. All approved speech is approved. All approved military is approved. They will all be watching. Always. They literally went through and screened every guardsman because apparently Joe Biden is afraid that the military that he's about to be commander-in-chief of is going to murder him. Actually afraid of this. The last time dictators got afraid of their own military, since it was controlled by a former regime, was every communist hellhole and civil war riddled shithole country you've ever heard of. That's the last time it happened. All of the bad countries that have the bad news, that's where that was. Welcome to the third world. We're here. Enjoy it. The water's fine. Don't worry. It's fine now. It won't be fine soon. Flint is the model. And we will have... Soon you'll get your bread directly from the government. You won't have to go to the store for that. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. It's coming. uh, uh, as far as hope, like this stream is going to be mildly blackpilled. It's just a product of where we are. But there is hope. There really is. And I'm actually gonna pull up a Pompeo tweet here because this one hit me. This one made me care a little bit. Where do we go? Pompeo shows us the way, brothers. He knows the way. Let me see. Just making sure everything's lined up. Whoops. Here we go. This is the one I want to focus on. So Pompeo says Susan, his wife, I assume, I don't know, maybe it's his mistress, but I think it's his wife. Susan and I will never forget our church, family, and friends back in Kansas, without whom none of this would have been possible. Thank you, Kansas. Okay, it's a very simple tweet. And it could be a throwaway tweet on any normal day. But today isn't a normal day. We're not in a normal time. We are outside of that. And the reason I pull this tweet up, of all the things Pompeo said, and I put this in the video, but I'm going to say it again here. People are asking, like, what do you do? Where's hope? I'm really depressed. I'm worried about the future. It's here. Faith, family, friends. Home. Home is where it is. And that is where, when your overlords are shitting all over you, home. Foster your home. Foster yourself and your home. Secure up your house. Secure your family. Find family, even if it's not biological or legal or whatever it is. If you find family in strong, close friends, it's the same thing. It's a sense of return. Now, the reason I mention Pompeo in this, and Trump's the same way, and this is why I'm saying Trump has to pardon his family. I really hope he does it tomorrow. I really hope he does. Because when you're a guy like Pompeo, you're Trump, you've got half of the country hating you because that half of the country has been so inundated and beat down by a media who demanded the blood of Donald Trump and everybody else for the past 5 years. It's not just 4, it's 5 years. They have been demanding the blood of these people for 5 years. They've been conditioning the world to hate them. They've been conditioning their family and friends who are not their full friends, right? You know those people who they're your friend, they're your quote unquote friend, but the minute something happens, they're ready to throw you under the bus. They're like, oh, not that guy. I don't know. No. Who am I? They're the weakness of Peter. The weakness of Peter embodied all the time, where they would denounce you. Like, that was Peter's weakness. Jesus forgave him for it, but that was his weakness. That's who the media is targeting, okay? But we make these connections on social media, and social media has been a big part of this past year. It's been a big part of this past year because of the pandemic, right? But not really that. It's because of the lockdowns. And they want this. They want you to make online connections that are tenuous. They want people to seem like they're networking and socializing and building bridges, but they're not. These bridges are made of rope. They're not concrete or steel or stone. They're rope or toothpick bridges. You know, the like kids' art projects or spaghetti strands. And sure, they can make some pretty powerful for what they are bridges, but it's not like steel and concrete, right? It's not the craftsmanship of men. They want you to build these flimsy connections because what they want to do is they want people to be broken down when they can break those connections. They want you to build those connections so then they can expose something about you that's so hideous, so horrifying. No one actually cares about this, by the way. No one's horrified by your stuff. Trust me. I've talked to enough people in my life to know that basically everybody knows someone worse than you. Unless Kamala Harris is watching. I can't vouch for you, lady. I can't help you. But other than Kamala Harris, just about everybody knows someone worse than you. So. But this is an important thing. And it's an extrapolation. It's an extrapolation of 1984, of Orwell, of Brave New World. It's an extrapolation of V for Vendetta, of anything, of stupid Equilibrium. Any of these dystopian sort of futures are built on this idea of betrayal. Betrayal to personal connection to benefit the state is a virtue in these societies. And look what they're doing. And the reason it's a virtue is not for the state's benefit. I don't know if people miss that. But 1984, those governments don't survive because people are betraying their loved ones to the state. Like, the state doesn't need the betrayal. The betrayal is a critical portion of conditioning for the betrayer and a breaking of the betrayee. That's the important part. When you're totalitarian or authoritarian and you have total control, you don't need the betrayal. The betrayal is symbolic at that point. They already are going to catch the bad person, according to society, like the society's perception of bad. They're gonna catch that person whether there's a betrayal or not. All right. So they need it to break down because they need it to break you, and that's why I say in these times, you've got to take what Pompeo here is saying, and you've got to find that for you. You've got to find those connections that matter, those connections that are stronger than an embarrassing picture. They're stronger than some off-color joke you told that got recorded. They're stronger than you looked at a woman the wrong way. They're stronger than you fired someone who happened to be the wrong race. They're stronger than any of those things that get misconstrued and used as a bludgeon against you. And it's faith, your church. It doesn't have to be a specific religion, a specific denomination. These are about roots. It's about your family. This is why I tell people, don't argue with your family. Don't get into political fights with your family. Build bonds with them. You can politically disagree, but you've got to have family to fall back on. And finally, your friends, your real ones, your real friends, because those roots are where you go to when your limbs get chopped down, right? You draw up from your roots and you grow new limbs. Stupid tree analogies. I don't know what we're talking about here. You go back to home. Look, you get evicted from your apartment. You have nowhere to go. You got fired from your job. Where do you go? You go home, hopefully. You got someone you can go to. I know not everybody does, but it would be a better world if everybody did. So that's why I'm encouraging people to foster those relationships. It doesn't have to be literal family. It doesn't have to be a literal church. It doesn't have to be literal friends, whatever it is. Find that, build that, and foster that, because when the state or the corporate overlords come to destroy you, you're going to want some anchor to reality. You're going to need one, frankly. So that's my message on that. I just, like, of all the tweets, I mean, Pompeo's great here. Look at this. Wokeism, multiculturalism, all the isms, they're not who America is. This is good stuff. This is perfect. This is the type of red meat we want to see. But this one, out of all the tweets that he made today, that one stuck with me the most. So, that's that. All right. We'll be switching to the other screen a couple times. Nick rambles. Oh, yeah. If you're new here, if you're new here, because I know some new people may be watching, these live streams are unfiltered, mostly unfocused. They're often irreverent, uncouth. There will probably be profanity as the wine keeps flowing. These are honest opinions, is what you're gonna get, and I don't have a filter on them. I barely have the wherewithal to self-censor, so and I will ramble through it. These shows are 3 hours of conversation generally, so if you're looking for a focused approach to the topics that I listed, leave. Leave. You won't hurt my feelings. I don't want to waste your time. If you want to come here and spend time 3 hours with a chat who is friendly and fun and have a conversation with me in the chat, hang out. Absolutely. That's why we're here. This is not short form focused content. It never was ever intended to be. And when I see people complaining about it, I just have to smile. So, all right. The chat moves too fast. I know. You got to be quick. So anyway, here we go. Corporatist Nightmares is first. We've got a couple chats to read beforehand. Oh, and also if you're new here, I don't talk about super chats enough. Super chats are a way to interact with me directly. I read every single one of them aloud and address all of them. However, I address the $20 and up ones first, and I try to do it as close to when they're sent as I can. All of them will be read though. But if it's below the $20 amount, it could be later in the show. I'm not putting on slow mode. No. Bad Vibe says, here is for your nose cooperating with you. Oh, thank you. Watch Captain Elaine of the Death Watch says, escapism rant at the end of last night's stream needs to be its own video. Thank you. In light of that, I recommend a brother channel, Glaude TW. He's an Armenian historian who plays modded versions of old Total War games. Take care, Nick and chat. Hey, thanks. Watch Captain Elaine. And yeah, I am probably going to cut that escapism rant out and put it on my other video, or put it up on my other channel as a standalone. I liked it. I thought it was good as well. So, but yeah, okay. Gudea TW. He's an Armenian historian. Well, I automatically like him since the Turks stole my money from Twitch. So I'm allied with him now. I am allied with Gudea. Gudea, whatever it is. All right. Mithrin Emrys says, if official government accounts on Twitter can't block people because free speech, doesn't that strengthen the argument that Twitter is a quasi-governmental entity and must therefore adhere to free speech principles? Yes. Although I was discussing that the other day with Eric Hunley, and Robert Barnes chimed in and suggested that that argument didn't find traction when it was tried, but we do need to keep trying it. Because it is. At some point, these are quasi-government entities, and Twitter's acting as a quasi-government actor. And there is case law out there that suggests that when a private entity acts on behalf of a government agent or agency, then they assume the status of the government agency. Now, it hasn't been applied in this way to social media, but that doesn't mean it can't or shouldn't. All right. Serial Foxity says, if Comrade Biden soldiers can tweet 30 times in a minute, then they aren't suffering from a mild case of the alt-right. Okay. Mega Mobas says, hey, Nick, speaking of hope, you should pull up OnlyFeds again. Looks like our mutual friend, Short Round, may be in a spot of bother. Is there a new thing with OnlyFeds? This domain has been seized. Oh my goodness. Is this real? Apparently, OnlyFeds.com has been seized as part of a joint law enforcement operation by Homeland Security Investigations and the Internal Revenue Service, pursuant to a seizure warrant issued by the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois under the authority of 18 U.S.C. 981 and 2323. So I don't actually know if this is real or if this is a short round prank. I do know that he had to talk to someone. OnlyFeds, by the way, is the purveyor of my lovely Rekieta Law flag back here. So, you know, I guess you can't buy it right now. But yeah, so the problem is, OnlyFeds sold various articles, flags, patches, and stuff like that. And those flags did end up in some video at the Capitol. Now, to my knowledge, Short Round was not involved in the Capitol in any way. But he allegedly, you know, he sold something to someone who was. So there you go. OnlyFeds. F-E-D-S. OnlyFeds. Not OnlyFans. OnlyFans is fine. The Thought Coalition is strong. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so he sold the igloo flags. If you've seen them, they've popped up a couple of places. And apparently because of the actions of someone who is a customer of his, who he probably has never met in his life, he is somehow, his website was taken down. You think it's fake? The source has links to Wix? Could be. It could be fake. It could be fake. I have no idea. But I do know that it got demonetized out of everything. So even if it wasn't seized by the government, it was demonetized, and all payment processors stopped going after him, or stopped working. So fun times. Anyway, lawyers are scum too because they become judges. Oh, Jeremy, lawyers aren't scum because they become judges. Lawyers are just scum. So there you go. Like I said, I don't know if it's real because it's Short Round and he's hilarious and does stuff, but I do know that his payment processing did get absolutely annihilated off the internet. So, Bad Vibes says normal is setting on a dryer. There is just socially unacceptable, and that is what is getting flipped on its head. Oh, normal is a setting on a dryer. A setting on a dryer. Okay. There is just socially acceptable, and that is what is getting flipped on its head. I mean, I guess. And Bad Vibe says call Short Round. I don't have his number, I don't think. So anyway, that's that. Those are the chats. Now let me start pulling up. Oh my, where did I put all these links? By the way, Lynn Wood is dropping hot fire, apparently. I don't know what to do with this. But Lynn Wood allegedly has a whistleblower who is accusing Chief Justice John Roberts of hiring Jeffrey Epstein to adopt his children, to adopt the children that John Roberts allegedly has. And then apparently those children may have been used as currency to John Roberts' Circle of the Elites, according to Lynn Wood's whistleblower. And he's got him on a blurred out video. You guys, I don't know if I should play it. I don't know if I even can. Oh, it's Linwood still has a case before the Supreme Court. So, you want to play it? Okay. We'll play one of them. I don't know if we're going to play all of them. So this is posted on Twitter by The Real Kim Shady. Let me get this ready to go here. I've only watched the first one. It's a spicy meatball. Literally everyone says Amazon Web Services had a $10 billion contract with the DoD until September 2020 when they lost it to Microsoft. Is it possible that the incoming admin had talks with AWS to censor rival political speech in exchange for government contracts? Yeah, it's possible. Not only is it possible, I think it's entirely likely that they did that. That would surprise me less than anything else on the world. Is it illegal? Yeah, probably. But a half second to play, a Lifetime movie to regret. Here we go. This is according to Linwood's whistleblower, allegedly. I don't know. I'm not making these claims. Look, this video is already going to get, like, this live stream is going to get demonetized. I know that. That's not a concern of mine at all. But I do want to say, I am not making these claims at all. This is Linwood. I covered them when he first made them, and they're there.
Justice Roberts initially would have met, or how that relationship would have developed.
How they would have met.
It starts over here.
Epstein and Supreme Court Justice Roberts initially would have met, or how that relationship would have developed.
How they would have met. I think he met when he was under Bush, not too long after he was appointed. Somewhere along there, just a basic meeting powerful people, something like that. He did help him with his adopted children, from what was said there and what was, discussed openly in this little dirty trick squad. The children are not genetically brother and sister, but they're raised that way, so that's more valuable to them. One, if not both, were originally from Wales, but they were in the Epstein channels and were easily removed from their version of foster care to Ireland, which has much more open adoption type records. And he facilitated this for Robert so he could adopt them both at the same time. There's a little gap, but it was just paperwork. And that was him. Epstein had done that for him. So they had met, they had worked together, and he was doing favors at some point.
Was this something the Supreme Court Justice Roberts would have paid for, or is this a favor exchange to Epstein to link up with these children, or?
I don't know at that point. It's possible it could be either one. I don't think there would be a payment at that point. It's more for his position. There would be something in type of favor, but I don't know either one that was done. He facilitated it. Was there payment? Was it favor? I can't say.
Okay. Can you go into any more details on Supreme Court Justice Roberts with these children and the circles that he ran in, as far as you're aware?
Children are often used as a commodity, a way to buy yourself into certain inner circles. And these people are all wealthy, they're all powerful, and they don't trust you unless you're as compromised as they are. So,
all right. There are 6 of these videos. We're not watching all 6. There are 6 of the videos. So you can find them yourself at KShady account 4. At KShady account 4. You can make up your own mind. I don't know what other accusations are in them. I have not listened to all 6. Linwood has been has been increasingly escalating his he's been increasingly escalating his accusations and stuff like that since he first started making them. He, of course, was thrown off of Twitter entirely, and I think Facebook too. I don't know. He might still be on Facebook, but he is now allegedly on Telegram since Parler got shut down. But yeah. As for the claim, I don't know anything about the claims, and they seem like they'd be impossible to actually prove out. So I'm not going to talk about the claims. What I will suggest is that Lin Wood is playing a dangerous game with his law license, if nothing else. We are not really allowed to impugn the integrity of a judge, especially one whose court we sit under. And I mean, I'll say this about Roberts. I think he's a flip-flopping weasel. I think he's more concerned with legacy, his personal legacy, than the law. I think he makes very bad decisions in an effort to bridge some political gap. I think he's a political animal. And I think that most of his jurisprudence is informed more by what he's worried the press will say about it than his actual legal acumen. And the guy is sharp. It's not like he's an idiot. And he probably could do a lot of good for the country. In fact, I think there are some places where Roberts has done a lot of good in the realms of protecting speech in general. But there are certainly places where he didn't. And just because he did good doesn't mean that he's out to do good. And I think that were he just an honest broker, he could do a lot of good on the Supreme Court. But I don't think, I think we learned back in 2010 with the Obamacare decision or 2012 with the Obamacare decision that wasn't going to be the case with John Roberts. So that being said, I have no idea about any of this stuff that Lin Wood is talking about. So, but if he's got a whistleblower, then, well, I'm guessing we'll see some fireworks go to it. Siren Jag, I'm not licensed to practice in front of the Supreme Court, nor do I desire to be. But I'm not impugning his integrity. I'm not calling him a liar. I'm saying he's politically motivated in his decision making. And I'll say that about any judge that I believe it to be true. Absolutely. Go ahead. Come after my license for that. We'll go with some free speech grounds on that one. Now, what Lin Wood is suggesting, that's getting into the weeds. Like, an opinion about a judge's judicial alignment is that's about as protected as it gets. Stating that a judge bought their children from a known pedophile and sold them into trafficking in exchange for power and access to the elite. That's a little bit further. That's a little bit further. Yeah, he talks about other people. I know Mike Pence as well. But yeah. Woo! Spicy tweets or spicy updates from Lin Wood. If he actually services and says stuff, I'm going to cover it. Lin is a fascinating man right now. Because he does have an illustrious career, but in the past couple years have just been nothing but sparked controversy for him and through him. Like, it's not like he's a bystander in his own controversy. He's embraced and engaged it. It makes him absolutely fascinating. Whether you believe him or not is up to you. He's if nothing else, I guarantee, like, if I just made Lin Wood videos all day, I'd make a fortune. Because people want to hear what he has to say. His Google Analytics are, like, higher than Trump's or something. It's insane. I don't think they're higher than Trump's. They're really high, though. But yeah. So as more develops on the Lin Wood front, I will cover it. I just saw that today and I was like, whoa. Oh, yeah. And if he's right, the man is playing with death. Like Bill and Ted, but with real consequences. Here we go. Let's start listening to some of these videos here. I do apologize to this. You've got PPTSD from this. It's post-traumatic stress disorder. And I apologize because you're going to hear two disgusting old crones talking, and you can actually hear the bones in their jaws clattering as they need lubricant. So we're going to listen to this because for all of the reason we're going to listen to this is because oh, and God, when you hear Nancy Pelosi, at least Hillary almost sounds human. Nancy Pelosi sounds like a fucking lich, and she's terrifying. When you listen to this, the reason I'm playing this is because you're hearing a lot about conspiracy theorists of the right. Conspiracy theories, QAnon conspiracies, globalism conspiracies, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. The Dominion voting conspiracy. Everything's a conspiracy when it comes from the right. Listen to these two. Listen to this. And tell me if you haven't heard of a conspiracy. All right? Here we go. This is education.
We learned a lot about...
I'm so sorry. God, I thought I'd never have to listen to this thing again. I apologize to all of you.
Our system of government over the last 4 years with a president who disdains democracy and, as you have said numerous times, has other agendas. What they all are, I don't think we yet know. I hope historically we will find out who.
I just gotta say, her audio editor has like raised the bass level of her audio by like 7,000%. Because if you notice, she doesn't sound so shrill and horrifying. Okay, here we go. Sorry.
Who he's beholden to, who pulls his strings. I would love to see his phone records to see whether he was talking to Putin the day that the insurgents invaded our capital.
Did you hear the
But we now know that not just him, but his enablers, his accomplices, his cult members have the same disregard for democracy. Do you think we need a 9/11 type commission to investigate and report everything that they can pull together and explain what happened?
I do. Let me, again, to your point of who is he beholden to, as I've said over and over.
Oh, Nancy. Nancy is choking on the souls of children right now. God. Oh, I hate this woman. Ew. But yes, here we go. We need a commission to investigate whether Putin was on the phone with Trump directing the riots that Trump apparently caused. Think about that. All right, we're almost done. This clip only has 40 seconds left. We can do it.
As I said to him in that picture with my blue suit,
right,
as I was leaving, what I was saying to him as I was pointing rudely at him, with you, Mr. President, all roads lead to Putin. I don't know what Putin has on him politically, financially, or personally. But what happened last week was a gift to Putin because Putin wants to undermine democracy in our country and throughout the world. And these people, unbeknownst to them maybe, are Putin puppets. They were doing Putin's business when they did that at the incitement of an insurrection by the President of the United States. So yes, we should have a 9/11 commission, and there is strong support in the Congress to do that.
This is what they think. This is how these people think. These people think that Putin directed Trump to incite a riot, to storm the Capitol building, which has only hurt Trump. It's the only person hurt in all of this in all of this is Donald Trump. Well, I mean, except for the people who are getting arrested by the feds and charged with all sorts of Fed crimes. I mean, they're all hurt, but I guess they're the ones who did that. But nobody benefited from this. Like, Trump doesn't benefit. Putin doesn't benefit. If Putin was the mastermind and Trump is the puppet, Putin would have done something to keep Trump in office. That would be the goal. That's the only logical goal. Unless the logical goal is that Putin wanted all of Trump's support to die off and a feverish media slavering over Joe Biden. Because that's what we got. The moment the people breached the Capitol building, Trump's support died on the sword. There's no logical connection that can be made to any of this going, one, to Trump, and two, even further to Putin. Yeah, Antifa and the far left, yeah, they benefited. That's right. But I'm talking about people who are allegedly interested parties, right? Like Trump. Putin is saying, no, I'm actually competent. If I wanted Trump, you'd have Trump. My plans work. These people are crazy. Oh, but I've got to subject you to just a couple seconds because I want you to know this woman runs the country more than just about anybody else. And I want you to hear, listen to Pelosi try and get through this sentence.
Pull together and explain what happened.
Here we go.
I do. Let me, again, to your point of who is he beholden to, as I've said over and over, as I said to him in that picture with my blue suit,
right,
as I was leaving, what I was saying to him as I was pointing.
Listen, what was that? Those aren't even words. Like, as I was saying, what I was going to, when I was, as I was saying, as he was leaving, as I was saying while pointing, what I was saying was in my blue suit. Well, that was, these robots with AI errors are running the country. They're running the world. These are the people that run the world. Do we wonder why there's problems? Good morning, Sunday morning. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Oh my God. Okay, here, we got a couple more chats that came in. Socialism is for figs. Says you're not going to say anything about the claims of Lynn Wood because you will get self-deleted along with your family with 2 to the back of the brain. Look, we're not going to talk about that. Deadly Chibi says, listen, boomer, don't go lying to the people watching. It's not that you don't want to be focused. It's that your messy dementia brain can't focus, you ancient crypt keeper. By the way, Ron is a 1 to 6 taker. What's a 1 to 6 take? I never mind. I don't know. Also says, much love, Nick. Been a while. Hey, welcome, Deadly Chibi. Thanks for the chats. Yeah, it's my ADD is all about it. AGK says, good God, does Nancy smoke 3 packs a day or does she eat 3 packs a day? No, she eats infants. And if we just give Lynn Wood enough time, he'll probably have video. Bad Vibe says, bones clattering. Sure that's not their dentures trying to fall out of their face? Yeah. Their dentures are retreating as fast as possible from their mouths. I don't want to be here anymore. Oh my God. Okay, so that was a short one. I do not have any more Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton to subject you to. All right. So, now we're going to go on to this. This is the next 4 years. The minimum. This is the next 4 years. Be ready for it, okay? Trump pardoned Steve Bannon. Good. Pardon Bannon. Hope he pardons his family. This is what you can expect for the next 4 years. After the COVID memorial, MSNBC's Eddie Glaude compares Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to God as described by the Bible in Psalm 143:7-3, as he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Let's listen to this.
The selfishness that has kind of suffocated the land was held at arm's length for a moment.
For a moment.
We've needed a national ritual to mourn.
This guy is talking like a preacher. Do you notice that? What is with this? You're not a preacher. Is this guy a preacher? Is Eddie Glaude a preacher? A pastor? A pulpit pounder? We needed time to mourn for the passing of our Lord. Here we go.
So that we can think about the morning. And then for a moment, just listening to the words and the song and seeing the lights, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President Harris pulled the grief and regret out of the privacy of our hearts, if just for a moment, so that we all could share it. Cardinal Gregory put it powerfully, sorrow unites us, you know? We needed this ritual because the dead weren't settled. People didn't die right, Nicole. And coming out of my tradition, when folk don't die right, they haunt.
He's saying this about a white man. I just want to point that out. He's saying this about a white guy.
So, you know, I'm thinking of Charlie.
In the
When
trees.
he would slice that golf ball and cuss at the top of his lungs, or we would sit down and smoke cigars and
Sit down
talk
and
about
smoke
how bad
cigars.
we played and how
I'm borrowing the affectations of Martin Luther King. Dr. King could speak and rouse a crowd. I hope to speak and rouse myself, for I haven't been roused in a very long time.
how good we would play the next round, and thinking about all of those folks who, just for the moment, the nation shared their grief.
Yes.
What a first step. What a beautiful step. So I'm gonna, I'm reminded of the psalmist. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds.
Yes. David is sitting 3,000 years ago. The psalmist, David, on his throne, thinking to the future, when a white man with white hair and white teeth, who refers to black children as cockroaches and sings the song of corn pop, would come forth and heal the nation after a great plague and pestilence had set upon it.
Maybe the death will speak to us now. Maybe they can rest now.
Yep, they haven't been resting until Joe Biden. This is we've 4 years of this, of a media fawning a white man, treating him as if he is deity. He is Christ returned to us, or Muhammad, if you're of that disposition. We know that it may be offensive to you to find Muhammad to be a white man who paired up with a woman over the age of 6 named Kamala. But he has returned. The prophet is here. Find your alternative media. Find me. Stay here. Hang out. We have fun here, even in the dark times. The psalmist wrote about this. Actually, my channel was mentioned in the Bible too. I don't know if you guys know this. Like, Joe Biden's not the only guy in the Bible. I'm also there. It's the Book of Lamentations. The entire thing is about this channel. What do we have here? Oh, okay. This is another good one. It's in the Bible. Oh, God. All right, this is a short clip. You can see we've got Brian Stetler, which is a man shaped like a vegetable with an intelligence that wishes it was shaped like a vegetable. And he is talking to this weirdo who's a former Facebook executive. Okay. Drex could have saved Samson from Delilah. Here we go.
Second, we have to turn down the capability of these conservative influencers to reach these huge audiences. There are
you heard that, right? We have to turn down the capability of these conservative influencers to reach these huge audiences. Straight out. Flat out the gate. That's what they want.
There are people on YouTube, for example, that have a larger audience than daytime CNN.
I probably have that. That's not hard. See, daytime CNN? Who watches daytime CNN? Besides people stuck at a dentist. No one wants to watch that. Oh, God, they're soulless piles of garbage. Look at him! Who would want to watch this guy ever? Notice what he's doing here. He's realizing that he's like, oh my God, random people on YouTube are more popular than me. Ah, shit.
And they are extremely radical and pushing extremely radical views. And so it's up to the Facebooks and YouTubes in particular to think about whether or not they want to be effectively cable networks for disinformation. And then we're going to have to figure out the OANN.
Whoa. You could have stopped at cable networks, because cable networks are cable networks for disinformation. You run CNN and MSNBC, and you used to run Al Gore's channel before it went bankrupt. Oh, these are the fucking worst people. The people, like, and I'm not talking about me. I'm not including myself in this. I'm just a little guy over here. But there are people out there doing way better work than anybody on CNN does, and they don't have a staff, and they don't have a $1 million a day budget to do it, and they're doing real honest journalism. And these fuckers hate them. Like, oh, it pisses me off. Like, you don't have to agree. You don't have to like everything that comes out of Tim Pool's mouth, but he's working harder than Brian Stetler ever did. Like, come on.
And Newsmax problem, that these companies have freedom of speech.
Wait, we got to go back.
That these companies have freedom cable networks for disinformation. And then we're going to have to figure out the OANN and Newsmax problem, that these companies have freedom of speech, but I'm not sure.
If you have to say but after we have freedom of speech, but then you don't have freedom of speech. But look what he did. We've got to fix the Newsmax and OANN problem, because OANN is beating them like Biden beats black people into jail. Oh my God. They're getting crushed by One American News Network and Newsmax. And it's a problem that people are thinking something other than what they're feeding them. Here, we'll go back a little bit, because I'm sorry I'm pausing it, but
cable networks for disinformation. And then we're going to have to figure out the OANN and Newsmax problem, that these companies have freedom of speech, but I'm not sure we need Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, and such to be bringing them into tens of millions of homes. This is, allowing people to seek out information if they really want to, but not pushing it into their faces, I think is where we're going to have to go here.
No. Okay. That's crazy town. They have free speech, but no one should make it accessible. That's what he just said. So you don't have free speech. You don't have freedom if you don't have access to distribution. If they can shut you off of distributing your message, and he knows this. He knows that they're dead if they can't reach people. Because what are you going to do? They already go after their advertisers. They go after their vendors. They go after their banking abilities. They go after these people literally constantly. The fact that One American News and Newsmax are even allowed to exist in the system we're in is testament to where we were and the fact that cable news is still in the past. Brian Stetler is so dumb he can't realize that he's part of a dying medium already. So they don't. These guys are talking about something that was a decade ago when distribution access was still a thing. If One American News and Newsmax were only on the internet, they'd be dead already. They would have been killed. They would have been stopped from their distribution a long time ago because the internet is good at killing distribution. Cable news actually isn't because it's regulated by the FCC and it's regulated fairly heavily. You can't get a monopoly of information. And if CNN were to collaborate with AT&T and Verizon to prevent the distribution of One American News or Newsmax, that would look a lot like a RICO or a Sherman antitrust violation. That would be severe. They would be acting as a trust in an anti-competitive way, and they know it. That's why the Facebook guy's over here saying it. It's not anti-competitive if Facebook advocates it, sort of. I mean, it still is, but that's what they're trying to get around. Stetler can't push this idea. CNN can't push this idea. Because if CNN floated the idea and One American News got deleted, there'd be hell to pay. But on the internet, you can do that. That's the only good thing about cable right now, is that somehow on cable, you have more freedom than you do on the internet in a lot of ways because you can still be there. Yeah, NTD is another big conservative channel right now, but that's what these people think. This is what they want. They don't want you to have access to different opinions or different analysis or anything. Is it Stelter? Stetler? I don't know what his name is. I don't care. Brian Potato. There you go. Okay, let's see. Random Blaze says, what we have to look forward to on the 11th, articles were filed in the House to abolish the Electoral College, unlimited immigration, robo-fast food due to a $15 minimum wage, service and citizens being vetted for whiteness. Yeah. Yep. The Electoral College thing is concerning. Very concerning. I think they should need a constitutional amendment to abolish the Electoral College. We'll see what happens. Bad Vibe says, I thought he was a vegetable dreaming of becoming a man. No. He's a simulacrum of a vegetable dreaming of getting up to vegetable status. The list of people pardoned by Trump was just released, huh? Let's see if we can find it real quick. Trump talked out of pardoning kids and Republican lawmakers. Pardon your fucking kids, man. Pardon your kids. I'm not seeing it. Do we have it? Oh, here we go. Oh, Washington Post. Hadn't been archived yet, and I'm not subscribing to Washington Post. Let's see. Well, if anybody has the list, a link to the list, someone sent me a direct link on your Twitter feed and DMs. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Let me grab this back. Thanks. Oh, at the White House. Google doesn't like to give those results. Let's take a look at Trump pardons. This will be interesting. I have no... Mother hooker? I have no idea who it might be. 73 individuals and commuted the sentences of an additional 70. All right. Let's take a gander, shall we? He can't pardon Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse is convicted of is accused of state crimes, not Fed crimes. And so he has no authority to pardon Kyle Rittenhouse of state crimes. All right, Todd Bullinger. Who is this guy? 2008, he pled guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit honest services fraud. Okay. Some sort of fraud there. Full pardon to Abel Holtz. Let's see. Mr. Holtz is 86 years old. In 1995, pled guilty to 1 count of impeding a grand jury investigation, was sentenced to 45 days in prison. Before his conviction, Mr. Holtz, who was the chairman of a local bank, never had any legal issues and has no other legal issues since his conviction. Oh, okay. So he served his 45 days. Now he gets a pardon. 1 count of impeding a grand jury. Okay. Representative Rick Renzi. Mr. Renzi's pardon is supported by blah, 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 blah. Convicted of extortion, bribery, insurance fraud, money laundering, and racketeering. 2 years in Fed prison, 2 years of supervised release, and paid a $25,000 fine. He served 3 terms in the House. His constituents considered him a strong advocate for better housing. I don't know who this guy is. Kenneth Curson. Cyber stalking related to his divorce from his ex-wife. In a powerful letter to the prosecutors, Mr. Curson's ex-wife wrote on his behalf that she never wanted this investigation or arrest and repeatedly asked for the FBI to drop it. I hired a lawyer to protect me from being forced into yet another round of questioning. My disgust with this arrest and the subsequent articles is bottomless. This investigation only began because Mr. Curson was nominated to a role within the Trump administration. He's been a community leader in New York and New Jersey for decades. Look at that shit. Look at that. By the way, this is something that is often confusing in domestic violence. Domestic violence claims or domestic relations, criminal accusations is the victim is not in control of whether or not a prosecution occurs. The victim often has no say whether the state wants to pursue action. I mean, I had a domestic situation where the wife hired me to represent the husband in in criminal court for an alleged abuse of her that she also says never happened. But the state wouldn't listen to her. They were prosecuting him anyway. Separated a wife and a husband while she was pregnant for 2 months based on not what she wanted. Good job. Did I win? Yeah. His case is dismissed. Casey Urlacher. President Trump granted a full pardon to Casey Urlacher. Has been charged with conspiracy to engage in illegal gambling. Okay. Carl Boggs. Pled guilty to 2 counts of conspiracy. All right. Jamie Davidson. 93, life imprisonment. James Johnson Jr. I'm going to just see if we see any people that are interesting here. Tommaso Booty. COO of a large Italian company has started a successful charitable initiative. He was charged with financial fraud 20 years ago. He has not, however, been convicted in the United States. Oh, okay. So he was never convicted, so his pardon is good. By the way, if you're pardoned before you're convicted, people don't understand this generally, so I want to make this clear. If you're pardoned following a conviction, then your pardon, you still were guilty of the thing, right? People can in some ways use that guilt against you because you were found guilty. But if you're pardoned prior to being convicted, you are not guilty. You are not guilty if you are not convicted. You are not guilty because you accepted a pardon. That's not a thing when you're not guilty yet. It's only a thing if you're guilty later, because that forecloses your appeal. That's why that matters. So if you are found guilty and you have the ability to appeal your crime, but you accept a pardon, then you're guilty and then pardoned. You don't get to appeal it later. If you are pardoned prior to conviction, you were never found guilty. Now, people might consider you guilty, but legally you are not. Bill K. Capri. He commuted Bill Capri, more commonly known as Kodak Black, prominent artist and community leader. Let's see. Kodak Black was sentenced to 46 months in prison for making a false statement on a federal document. Damn. Okay. Jawad Musa commuted the sentence of him, sentenced to life in prison for a non-violent drug-related offense. Those bother me a lot. those bother me. I'm sorry. I don't. If it's a non-violent drug-related offense, I do not believe you should be in prison for your life. Adriana Chayota. Ms. Chayota served more than half her 24-month sentence. She's convicted of conspiracy to traffic counterfeit goods. This is going to take forever. Lewandowski. Not Lewandowski. Pled guilty to single criminal count arising from civil. This is way too many to go through. I'm going to just start skipping through. This is, we'll be here all day. Lou Hobbs. I don't know who this guy is. Most of these people are going to be no one you've ever heard of. I know who's probably not on the list, and it makes me sad. Let's see. Gary Hendler. Wait. Alford. Okay. Let's see. Do we have anybody? I wonder what we're going to see what they wrote about Steve Bannon. He should pardon Jeffrey Epstein for killing himself. Steve Bannon. Prosecutors pursued Mr. Bannon with charges related to fraud stemming from his involvement in a political project. He's been an important leader in a conservative movement. Okay, nothing. Probably smart not to write much. Here's the link. I'll post the link in the chat. Douglas Jamal, Noah Kleinman, Harkonnen. Look at this one. President Trump granted a full pardon to Dr. Scott Harkonnen. Dr. Harkonnen was convicted of fraud based on a misleading caption in a press release with respect to a treatment for a disease. The FDA enforcement is one of the most brutal and nasty enforcement arms in the country. Dr. Mohammed Reza Banki, Tana Logan, Marion Locke. Have you even read Locke, mate? Caroline Yeats. Mary Roberts, Kasowski. Couldn't they put these in alphabetical order? That'd be great. Lots of non-violent drug offenses. 8 years of a 27-year sentence for a non-violent drug offense. The nonviolent drug offenses and the mandatory minimum sentences are really a problem. 7 years of a 16-year sentence. Let's see. Some Jorgensens. Gregory and his father, Martin, gathered a group of South Dakota cattle producers to market and sold processed beef. They marketed their beef under the Dakota Lean brand and sold the premium product as heart-healthy and antibiotic and hormone-free. When demand outstripped supply, they mixed in inferior commercial beef trim and knowingly sold misbranded beef. Convicted in 1996. Oh, my God. Ken Ford. John Harder. Scott Crosby. Not Bill Cosby. Scott Crosby. Chris Young. Adrian Miller. This one, though, a spur-of-the-moment poor decision to participate in a coworker's plan to commit bank robbery. Well, yeah, it's a bad decision. Look, he caught me at a bad time. I said yes. There we go. There we go. Chris Young, Adriana Miller. Lynn Barney, Joshua Smith, Amy Pova. Who we got here? Paul Erickson, Kwame Kilpatrick. Oh, the mayor of Detroit? Oh, come on, Trump. This guy deserves jail. Kwame Kilpatrick's corrupt as all get up. Oh, that's sad. Shouldn't have. And not Julian Assange? Really? Yeah, we read Steve Bannon. Todd Farah, Thaddeus. Okay, who are these guys? David Rowland, Randall Cunningham. William Walters, Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., Lil Wayne! Convicted felon owing to a conviction over 10 years ago. Pled guilty to possession of a firearm and ammunition by a convicted felon. Stephen Odzer, James Cruz, Stephen Floyd, Joey Hancock, David Miller, James Hayes, Daniel Brownstein, Robert Bowker, Amir Khan, Shalom Weiss. Okay. Patrick Lee Swisher. What are these names? I'm sure these people are very interesting, but I don't really care. I'm looking for the two people who aren't going to be on here. Yeah, I know the people who should be on here are Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. They should be on here. I know some people don't like them, but just because you don't like them doesn't mean they shouldn't be on here. Edward Snowden exposed unconstitutional acts of the government, which would still be going on today without his exposure. Martin Shkreli, he should be exonerated too. But anyway, so there's the list. I'll put it in the chat one more time. If you want to read it on your own, pull it up in a separate window. Invite Razor on sometime to talk Snowden? Sure. I love talking to Razor Fist, so I'd be happy to have him on anytime. Anytime. He's just a busy guy, so it's not always easy. All right, let's watch Trump's speech. Let's get some red meat in here. Maybe. I hope. Come on, Trump, deliver the goods. Deliver the goods. Oh, wait a minute. I have one more stupid thing. Hold on. Right before Trump's speech, we got one more dummy. By the way, If anybody has a line to Glenn Greenwald, have this man call me. Have this man call me, please. I would love to talk to Glenn Greenwald. All right. Listen to this. Another CNN thing.
There's still some tinkering going on with the inaugural address, but his aides have made really clear it's not like he's trying to ignore or paper over either what happened at the Capitol 2 weeks ago or what we've been through memorial along the reflecting pool. It's like almost extensions of Joe Biden's arms embracing America. It was a
hold on. I saw that it died. It's back. I don't know what happened. My Streamlabs reset randomly. It's back. I'll replay the video. I'm sorry you gotta listen to this weird cheese pizza aficionado here.
There's still some tinkering going on with the inaugural address, but his aides have made really clear it's not like he's trying to ignore or paper over either what happened at the Capitol 2 weeks ago or what we've been through throughout 4 years of the Trump presidency. And
yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Of course they are. They've got 25,000 National Guard troops blocking anyone from showing up. They've covered it in flags. They're not letting anyone in. They're investigating everybody who's even breathed in the direction of Washington, D.C. Yes, of course they are. Of course they're trying to paper over it. God.
The contrast on display tonight was so stark. I mean, those lights that are just shooting out from the Lincoln Memorial along the reflecting pool. It's like almost extensions of Joe Biden's arms embracing America. It was a moment where the new president came to town and
this hasn't even happened yet. It was a moment where the new president came to town. The inauguration is still tomorrow. The new president isn't in town yet, but this is
sort of convened the country in this moment of remembrance, outstretching his arms. And contrast that with that video you just saw of a disgraced president on his way out at his lowest point in his presidency at the very end here by himself, fighting for his political movement to live on, and not even necessarily promising that he's going to be leading that movement. You noted in his remarks tonight. I just think that sort of isolated.
You won't let him do anything. You'll kill him. They will kill Donald Trump. If they can't kill him financially, he'll just die. He's old, right? Just like Scalia. He's old, probably coughed once or twice in his life. Fucking dead. He's not going to lead them. What's he supposed to do? What's he supposed to do? How's he supposed to lead them? Nerd W says, it's as if Biden's arms embracing America. Did he commission Mars Girl to hug the planet? Those are the only arms I know of that are long enough. Oh, God. Jimmy the Hand says he pardons Kodak, but not Assange. F Trump. Dude, he's not. He won't even pardon his own kids. He's listening to the wrong people. He's listening to the people that led him here, that led him to defeat. That's the problem that Trump has right now. People who are advising him led him into defeat. Why would he pardon his kids? Because they're going to go after his kids. They're going to go after his kids. They're going to go after his family. They don't even have to have committed a crime. Pardon them for any crime they might have committed. Just make that the pardon. Check DMs. What now? Yeah, I know. Yeah, reportedly, Mitch McConnell threatened Donald Trump and said, basically, if you pardon Julian Assange, we're gonna vote along with the impeachment. If you want to, Mitch McConnell's a snake, man, or a turtle. Pardon Joe Exotic. Yes, yes. That bitch Carol Baskins had it coming. All right. Idea Machine says everyone who works at CNN needs to go on a diet. This is very true. Very true. He should have pardoned Ted Cruz for the Zodiac murders. Why not? Funny. Should have been funny. Might as well be funny. All right, here we go. This is Trump's speech. I haven't heard it yet. I'm going to try and pause it as little as possible.
My fellow Americans, 4 years ago, we launched a great national effort to rebuild our country, to renew its spirit, and to restore the allegiance of this government to its citizens. In short, we embarked on a mission to make America great again for all Americans. As I conclude my term as the 45th President of the United States, I stand before you truly proud of what we have achieved together. We did what we came here to do, and so much more. This week, we inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous.
Jason Altor says, I'm hearing the videos, Nick. I respect you, but it made me so sick to my stomach that I want to punch myself in the baby makers so I don't have to put children into this horse crap. And it showed they bedamned everyone's rights. Look, making babies, I can't say this enough. Making babies and raising children, that is the only solution. That's it. That's your answer. You can talk MGTOW all you want. You can listen to Drexel all you want. Whatever. I'm not going to stop you. But if you want hope for the future, you make children and you raise them. That's it. By the way, that's what they did. So, all right, back to this. I do love that he said a new administration and not Biden. He knows Biden's not in charge of this shit.
We extend our best wishes, and we also want them to have luck, a very important word. I'd like to begin by thanking just a few of the amazing people who made our remarkable journey possible. First, let me express my overwhelming gratitude for the love and support of our spectacular First Lady, Melania. Let me also share my deepest appreciation to my daughter Ivanka, my son-in-law Jared, and to Barron, Don, Eric, Tiffany, and Lara. You fill my world with light and with joy. I also want to thank Vice President Mike Pence, his wonderful wife Karen, and the entire Pence family. Thank you as well to my Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows.
I mean, maybe. I don't know about the Pence one. Like I mean, if he didn't thank Pence, it would have looked really petty. But Pence, like, I don't think Pence was going to overturn the election in any way. Like, I don't think so. But, I don't think that was on Pence's agenda. I don't think Trump honestly expected him to do it, but I don't know. I feel like Pence's comments in the wake of the 6th sold Trump upriver a little bit. That's me. That's my opinion.
The dedicated.
And real quick, the real reason I bring that up is because, not because of what I think Pence would do, but because Pence at the Georgia rally, the day before, 2 days before I think was the rally, 2 days before the electoral count, talked about welcoming the challenge. Mike Pence has not been supportive of Trump, of Cruz, of Hawley, of Tuberville, of any of the guys who actually stood up and challenged. Mike Pence went radio silence on that. But Mike Pence said, we're ready for the challenge and we will have our evidence heard in Congress. And no one attacked Mike Pence. No one attacked him. They attacked Trump. They attacked the senators and the congressmen who challenged it. No one attacked Mike Pence for instigating that. And the evidence thing, that died completely with the riot, with the rioters breaching the Capitol. By the way, if you want to know why there was no evidence presented in Congress, that's it. The rioters breaching the Capitol took the wind out of those sails. So, again, who benefited from the riots? Because it wasn't Trump. Wasn't anyone associated with Trump. It wasn't anyone challenging the electoral votes. That did not benefit any of them in any way.
Members of the White House staff and the cabinet and all of the incredible people across our administration who poured out their heart and soul to fight for America. I also want to take a moment to thank a truly exceptional group of people, the United States Secret Service.
I thought he was going to say Kiwi Farms, but he stuck with Secret Service. A bold move.
My family and I will forever be in your debt. My profound gratitude as well to everyone in the White House military office, the teams of Marine One and Air Force One, every member of the armed forces, and state and local law enforcement all across our country. Most of all, I want to thank the American people. To serve as your president has been an honor beyond description. Thank you for this extraordinary privilege, and that's what it is, a great privilege and a great honor.
Okay, so I've noticed something, and I'm sorry, I keep pausing this. Trump didn't go gray in his 4 years as president. Is he dyeing his hair? Because every other president ages 50 years. I think Trump may have lost some weight in the past couple months. He doesn't look alarmingly older, though. Bad Vibe says, not to be a downer, however, they hold your children hostage through the schools. Homeschool your damn kids. Take some fucking responsibility. Jesus! Stop complaining about the fucking schools and take your kids out of them. What? Ah!
We must never forget that while Americans will always have our disagreements, we are a nation of incredible, decent, faithful, and peace-loving citizens who all want our country to thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good. We are a truly magnificent nation. All Americans were horrified by the assault on our Capitol. Political violence is an attack on everything we cherish as Americans. It can never be tolerated.
Notice Trump didn't pardon any of the rioters. By the way, these freaking idiots out here like Baked Alaska. Donald Trump needs to pardon me. No, he doesn't. What were you thinking, you idiot? You got duped. 'Cause you're a fucking moron. They got sold on the idea of storming the Capitol for some dumb reason. He didn't pardon any of them, and he shouldn't have.
Now more than ever, we must unify around our shared values and rise above the partisan rancor and forge our common destiny. 4 years ago, I came to Washington as the only true outsider ever to win the presidency.
True.
I had not spent my career as a politician, but as a builder looking at open skylines and imagining infinite possibilities. I ran for president because I knew there were towering new summits for America just waiting to be scaled. I knew the potential for our nation was boundless as long as we put America first. So I left behind my former life and stepped into a very difficult arena, but an arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done. America had given me so much, and I wanted to give something back. Together with millions of hardworking patriots across this land, we built the greatest political movement in the history of our country. We also built the greatest economy in the history of the world. It was about America first because we all wanted to make America great again. We restored the principle that a nation exists to serve its citizens. Our agenda was not about right or left. It wasn't about Republican or Democrat.
And that's true. That's why all the Republicans sold him upriver, by the way.
But about the good of a nation, and that means the whole nation. With the support and prayers of the American people, we achieved more than anyone thought possible. Nobody thought we could even come close. We passed the largest package of tax cuts and reforms in American history. We slashed more job-killing regulations than any administration had ever done before. We fixed our broken trade deals, withdrew from the horrible Trans-Pacific Partnership and the impossible Paris Climate Accord, renegotiated the one-sided South.
Joe's bringing back the Paris Climate Accord as soon as possible. You're welcome. You're welcome.
South Korea deal, and we replaced NAFTA with the groundbreaking USMCA. That's Mexico and Canada, a deal that's worked out very, very well. Also, and very importantly, we imposed historic and monumental tariffs on China, made a great new deal with China. But before the ink was even dry, we and the whole world got hit with the China virus.
Okay, that makes the entire speech right there. He nails it. Nails it. Calls it the China virus to the nation in his farewell address. Fuck China. Bad Vibe says they make it very difficult for us. Who makes it very difficult? Homeschooling your kids? Really not. It's really not. Guys, people less intelligent than you homeschool their kids every single day. Your kids are smarter than schools ever gave them credit for. Your kids are so smart, your dumbness is taken care of by them. Jason McConnell with a big donation. Holy crap. Thank you. Says if Northam and Trudeau proved nothing, it was the key to re-election was blacking up. If only Trump had gone full Snoop, he and Vice President Corn Pop would be taking us toward the light. Yes! Trump in blackface 2024 for the victory. Honestly, guys, I homeschool. And I have met homeschoolers. They are poorer than you. They have more kids than you. And a lot of them are not particularly capable, equipped, or qualified. Homeschooling is now easier than it's ever been. Ever. There's so many resources, and your kids are smart. Your kids are smart. They're smarter than you think. They're definitely smarter than your schools think. Your schools think kids are stupid. They'll treat your kids like they're stupid and they'll keep them dumb. Your kids are smarter than that. Stop buying into the lies. You're being propagandized against homeschooling. Private school's really expensive. Homeschool isn't. You're buying into a marketing campaign for public school.
Our trade relationship was rapidly changing. Billions and billions of dollars were pouring into the U.S., but the virus forced us to go in a different direction. The whole world suffered, but America outperformed other countries economically because of our incredible economy and the economy that we built. Without the foundations and footings, it wouldn't have worked out this way. We wouldn't have some of the best numbers we've ever had. We also unlocked our energy resources and became the world's #1 producer of oil and natural gas, by far. Powered by these policies, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We reignited America's job creation and achieved record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women, almost everyone. Income soared, wages boomed, the American dream was restored, and millions were lifted from poverty in just a few short years. It was a miracle. The stock market set one record after another, with 148 stock market highs during this short period of time, and boosted the retirements and pensions of hardworking.
They really should work on the background colors of Trump's video here, because it is bringing out the orange. Like, I'm just saying, they've got all these earth tones and these yellows in here. I don't think they should have that. They should have him in front of darker colors, dark blues, darker browns than this.
Citizens all across our nation. 401ks are at a level they've never been at before. We've never seen numbers like we've seen, and that's before the pandemic and after the pandemic. We rebuilt the American manufacturing base, opened up thousands of new factories, and brought back the beautiful phrase, made in the USA. To make life better for working families, we doubled the child tax credit and signed the largest ever expansion of funding for child care and development. We joined with the private sector to secure commitments to train more than 16 million American workers for the jobs of tomorrow. When our nation was hit with the terrible pandemic, we produced not one, but 2 vaccines with record-breaking speed, and more will quickly follow.
He's never gonna get credit. Like, I don't want the vaccine personally. I don't trust fast-produced vaccines in general, especially for seasonal or you know, these types of illnesses. Not my thing. You want to get it? That's fine. I'm not going to advocate against it. I don't know anything about it. I just don't trust it. I don't trust any vaccine company with a liability shield. That being said, Trump is never going to get credit for literally saying we will have one by the end of the year, and having one by the end of the year, despite them saying it was impossible. He was fanciful dreaming. He made it happen. He made it happen. They ridiculed him for it, and now they're like, oh, there's not enough yet. Distribution is too slow. Bitches, you said it wasn't going to happen. You said we wouldn't even have it for 18 months. The man made it happen in like 9. Half the time. And you're complaining that there's not enough. It exists. Bad Vibe says many states unleash CPS and other legal battles in many states. Yeah, I hear it. You're being sold, man. You're being sold on marketing. I'm telling you. And again, on this homeschooling thing, guys, what the people that homeschool, I am financially blessed. Absolutely. I'm not saying that I'm poor in any way, but the people that do homeschool, Many of them are absolutely poor. They're poorer than you are now, whoever you may be. They make it work. They do it all the time, and they do it well. They do it better than probably I do. Jonathan Dolph says, check out Homeschool Legal Defense Association if you have questions about homeschooling laws in your state. They represented my family when I was a kid and we won. They kick ass, by the way. The HSLDA, they should have a, whatchamacallit, a predator room full of skulls. Most of the stuff you hear about homeschooling that's negative is literally taking the events of 30 and 40 years ago and trying to apply it to today. We have so many resources now. There's so much out there. It's not as expensive as you think. Look, you're either like if you need to send your kid to daycare, that's school. That's the daycare model. And if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. I'm not going to besmirch anyone who does it. But if you're going to talk about they're going to indoctrinate your kids, okay, hear me out. You're going to indoctrinate your kids and you're not going to do something about that? And you can do something about it, but you're not going to? I'm confused by this. I'm confused by this because I can't think of sending my kids off to be willingly indoctrinated. First, last, why would you send your kids to college? All right, here we go.
They said it couldn't be done, but we did it. They called it a medical miracle, and that's what they're calling it right now, a medical miracle. Another administration would have taken...
By the way, sorry, Trump. Hold on, I got to do this. Homeschooling is not school at home. It's different. You don't have to do what they do at school. Your kids don't have to spend 8 hours sitting in front of some dummy talking, because that's not how they're not learning that way. That is the efficient way of dealing with the number of children per teachers. Homeschooling takes way less time than that. Your kids are smarter and they learn all day from you. They learn from what you do. They learn how to manage a house. They learn how to pay bills. They learn how to grocery shop. They learn how to do taxes. Someone said that they homeschool their kid and their kid who's 13 knows how to do taxes. You'll never learn that in school. Yet it's a critical and essential skill for you to have. They learn way more. They learn way more. Bad Vibe says, just Google homeschool CPS. Yeah, we'll talk about that on a different episode. But you're not selling me on it. You're not selling me on it.
3, 4, 5, maybe even up to 10 years to develop a vaccine. We did it in 9 months. We grieve for every life lost, and we pledge in their memory to wipe out this horrible pandemic once and for all. When the virus took its brutal toll on the world's economy, we launched the fastest economic recovery our country has ever seen. We passed nearly $4 trillion in economic relief, saved or supported over 50 million jobs, and slashed the unemployment rate in half. These are numbers that our country has never seen before. We created choice and transparency in healthcare, stood up to Big Pharma in so many ways, but especially in our effort to get favored nations clauses added, which will give us the lowest prescription drug prices anywhere in the world. We passed VA choice, VA accountability, right to try, and landmark criminal justice reform. We confirmed 3 new justices of the United States Supreme Court. We appointed nearly 300 federal judges to interpret our Constitution as written. For years, the American people pleaded with Washington to finally secure the nation's borders. I am pleased to say we answered that plea and achieved the most secure border in U.S. history.
Benjamin Meyer says, if I wasn't so nasty to not, if If I wasn't so nasty to not have kids, I would never have my kids in a public school. They're insidious buggers there. Had to edit. Yeah, the public schools are terrible. Don't get me wrong. I don't like them. I'm hearing a lot of objections to stuff. Oh, your kids can't socialize. Stop. They can. My kids and the other homeschool kids socialize all the time with, you just have to find ways for them to do it. And believe me, there's lots. Again, this is not 40 years ago when homeschooling was taboo. There's been an explosion of it. There's been an explosion of it in your area because there's an explosion of it in every area. You're buying literal propaganda from state schooling. That's what you're buying. They're still indoctrinating you now. You're out of it and they're still indoctrinating you. Stop. Stop listening to them. Jesus.
We have given our brain.
Plus, kids at school suck. Oh my God, public school kids are the worst people on the planet. I know. I was one. You know what you have to do when you get out of high school? Do you remember this? You meet someone, you're like, oh God, that person's just like they were in high school. That's awful. Why is that? It's because you have to deprogram and learn how to integrate into society. Public school doesn't train you to do shit. They don't educate you. They don't train you to function in a normal society or into normal group interactions. You have to relearn that after getting out of public school. It's a laughing stock of the world. U.S. public education is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. Yeah. Oh, my kids won't learn to socialize. They don't learn to socialize in public school. They learn how to be pricks and assholes. That's it. Again, coming from a prick and an asshole. I learned it really fucking well. Bad Vibe says CPS is very powerful and the schools hold the leash. Once in CPS crosshairs, it's very difficult to get out. Yeah, sure. Okay. How much experience do you have with this and how much have you read of it on the internet? Honestly. Like, cause trust me, I deal with CPS. Not for my kids. Not for any homeschool kids I know. But for a lot of public school kids. All right.
Brave border agents and heroic ICE officers the tools they need to do their jobs better than they have ever done before and to enforce our laws and keep America safe. We proudly leave the next administration with the strongest and most robust border security measures ever put into place. This includes historic agreements with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, along with more than 450 miles of powerful new wall. We restored American strength at home and American leadership abroad. The world respects us again. Please don't lose that respect. We reclaimed our sovereignty by standing up for America at the United Nations and withdrawing from the one-sided global deals that never served our interests. And NATO countries are now paying hundreds of billions of dollars more than when I arrived just a few years ago. It was very unfair. We were paying the cost for the world. Now the world is helping us. And perhaps most importantly of all, with nearly $3 trillion, we fully rebuilt the American military, all made in the USA. We launched the first new branch of the United States Armed Forces in 75 years, the Space Force. And last spring, I stood at Kennedy Space Center in Florida and watched as American astronauts returned to space on American rockets for the first time in many, many years.
Space Force, what's up? By the way, that's cool as shit. I don't care what anybody says. Good job, Trump.
We revitalized our alliances and rallied the nations of the world to stand up to China like never before. We obliterated the ISIS caliphate and ended the wretched life of its founder and leader, al-Baghdadi.
That was hilarious. You know what's crazy? I forgot ISIS existed for the most part. I forgot ISIS existed for the most part. And then we ended the wretched life of its creator and leader, al-Baghdadi. Oh, yeah!
We stood up to the oppressive Iranian regime and killed the world's top terrorist, Iranian butcher Qasem Soleimani. We recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. As a result of our bold diplomacy and principled realism, we achieved a series of historic peace deals in the Middle East. Nobody believed it could happen. The Abraham Accords opened the doors to a future of peace and harmony, not violence and bloodshed. It is the dawn of a new Middle East.
Sorry, it's not, though, because Biden's going to fuck it up. It was the dawn of a new Middle East. The sunset is coming, and his name is Joe Biden. I have so little hope for the Middle East because of Joe Biden. I'm not even kidding.
And we are bringing our soldiers home. I am especially proud to be the first president in decades who has started no new wars. Above all, we have reasserted the sacred idea that in America, the government answers to the people. Our guiding light, our North Star,
or the machines,
our
one of the
unwavering
two,
conviction has been that we are here to serve the noble, everyday citizens of America. Our allegiance is not to the special interests, corporations, or global entities. It's to our children, our citizens, and to our nation itself. As president, my top priority, my constant concern, has always been the best interests of American workers and American families. I did not seek the easiest course. By far, it was actually the most difficult. I did not seek the path that would get the least criticism. I took on the tough battles, the hardest fights, the most difficult choices, because that's what you elected me to do. Your needs were my first and last unyielding focus. This, I hope, will be our greatest legacy. Together, we put the American people back in charge of our country. We restored self-government. We restored the idea that in America, no one is forgotten because everyone matters and everyone has a voice. We fought for the principle that every citizen is entitled to equal dignity, equal treatment, and equal rights because we are all made equal by God. Everyone is entitled to be treated with respect, to have their voice heard, and to have their government listen. You are loyal to your country, and my administration was always loyal to you. We worked to build a country in which every citizen could find a great job and support their wonderful families. We fought for the communities where every American could be safe and schools where every child could learn. We promoted a culture where our laws would be upheld, our heroes honored, our history preserved, and law-abiding citizens are never taken for granted. Americans should take tremendous satisfaction in all that we have achieved together. It's incredible. Now, as I leave the White House, I have been reflecting on the dangers that threaten the priceless inheritance we all share. As the world's most powerful nation, America faces constant threats and challenges from abroad.
Bad Vibes says, spent 2 years, 2 months in foster care. Mother signed her rights away. 6 families. Mom got me back after failure to provide stability. I know CPS. Yeah, CPS is a horrific monster. And I get it. I get it. But I don't think they're going after homeschool families the way you think they are. I really don't. I mean, they go after a lot of people. You'll never catch me singing the praises of CPS. I think they're one of the worst systems on the planet. They don't protect kids who need protecting, and they definitely separate kids from their parents who don't need separation. I've seen it with my own eyes. My in-laws have been foster parents for 30 years. I was a foster parent. Look, I get it. But you can't blame CPS homeschooling issues on CPS. That's chasing a phantom. Benjamin Myers says, one thing I would love to attribute to Trump personally is that I'm finally getting help from the VA. Before, all I had was yoga. It was all they ever gave me. Now I temporarily have options. Man, I hope you have more options in the future.
Abroad. But the greatest danger we face is a loss of confidence in ourselves, a loss of confidence in our national greatness. A nation is only as strong as its spirit. We are only as dynamic as our pride. We are only as vibrant as the faith that beats in the hearts of our people. No nation can long thrive that loses faith in its own values, history, and heroes. For these are the very sources of our unity. Patriots across this land.
What? No!
Built the greatest political movement in the history.
I was typing in the chat and it went back. Damn it. Hold on.
Never before. We obliterated the ISIS caliphate. That every citizen is entitled to equal dignity, equal treatment.
Here we go.
Interests of American workers and American families. I did not seek the easiest course. By far, it would fights the most difficult choices. First, we restored self-government. We restored the idea that in America,
I think we're about
one is
here.
Forgotten because
God damn it. I'm sorry. Here I'm sitting here arguing with you guys in the chat.
everyone matters and everyone has a voice. We fought for the principle that every citizen is entitled to equal dignity, equal treatment, and equal rights, because we are all made equal by God. Everyone is entitled to be treated with respect, to have their voice heard, and to have their government listen. You are loyal to your country, and my administration was always loyal to you. We worked to build a country in which every citizen could find a great job and support their wonderful families. We fought for the communities where every American could be safe and schools where every child could learn. We promoted a culture where our laws would be upheld, our heroes honored, our history preserved, and law-abiding citizens are never taken for granted. Americans should take tremendous satisfaction in all that we have achieved together. It's incredible. Now, as I leave the White House, I have been reflecting on the dangers that threaten the priceless inheritance we all share. As the world's most powerful nation, America faces constant threats and challenges from abroad. But the greatest danger we face is a loss of confidence in ourselves, a loss of confidence in our national greatness. A nation is only as strong as its spirit. We are only as dynamic as our pride. We are only as vibrant as the faith that beats in the hearts of our people. No nation can long thrive that loses faith in its own values, history, and heroes, for these are the very sources of our unity and our vitality. What has always allowed America to prevail and triumph over the great challenges of the past has been an unyielding and unashamed conviction in the nobility of our country and its unique purpose in history. We must never lose this conviction. We must never forsake our belief in America. The key to national greatness lies in sustaining and instilling our shared national identity. That means focusing on what we have in common, the heritage that we all share. At the center of this heritage is also a robust belief in free expression, free speech, and open debate. Only if we forget who we are and how we got here could we ever allow political censorship and blacklisting to take place in America. It's not even thinkable.
Exactly.
Shutting down free and open debate violates our core values and most enduring traditions.
No, 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 Mr. Trump. I have learned from Jack Dorsey that it is American to shut down talk. That's the most American thing. Versi says, sarcasm. I'm glad you're covering this video. It clearly sinks of whistleblowing, white supremacy. I've used our decoder ring to figure out our next meeting spot, Lamau. Thanks for the content, Nick. Thanks, Versi. Benjamin Myers says, my L3, L5, and L7 have bone spurs now and many other issues, but all they gave me was yoga under Obama and the VA. Things have changed a lot in the last 4 years where vet shenanigans go, good sir. I believe you.
In America, we don't insist on absolute conformity or enforce rigid orthodoxies.
We do now.
Punitive speech codes. We just don't do that. America is not a timid nation of tame souls who need to be sheltered and protected from those with whom we disagree. That's not who we are. It will never be who we are. For nearly 250 years, in the face of every challenge, Americans have always summoned our unmatched courage, confidence, and fierce independence. These are the miraculous traits that once led millions of everyday citizens to set out across a wild continent and carve out a new life in the Great West. It was the same profound love of our God-given freedom that willed our soldiers into battle and our astronauts into space. As I think back on the past 4 years, one image rises in my mind above all others. Whenever I traveled all along the motorcade route, there were thousands and thousands of people. They came out with their families so that they could stand as we passed and proudly wave our great American flag. It never failed to deeply move me. I knew that they did not just come out to show their support of me. They came out to show me their support and love for our country. This is a republic of proud citizens who are united by our common conviction.
Jason McConnell says the Navy laments the loss of Trump, for with the retirement of that hair, one of America's supercarriers is struck from the roster. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
That America is the greatest nation in all of history. We are and must always be a land of hope, of light, and of glory to all the world. This is the precious inheritance that we must safeguard at every single turn. For the past 4 years, I have worked to do just that. From a great hall of Muslim leaders in Riyadh to a great square of Polish people in Warsaw, from the floor of the Korean Assembly
Polish?
to the podium at the United Nations General Assembly, and from the Forbidden City in Beijing to the shadow of Mount Rushmore, I fought for you, I fought for your family, I fought for our country. Above all, I fought for America and all it stands for, and that is safe, strong, proud, and free. Now, as I prepare to hand power over to a new administration at noon on Wednesday,
I love it.
I want you to know that the movement we started is only just beginning. There's never been anything like it. The belief that a nation must serve its citizens will not dwindle, but instead only grow stronger by the day. As long as the American people hold in their hearts deep and devoted love of country, then there is nothing that this nation cannot achieve. Our communities will flourish, our people will be prosperous, our traditions will be cherished, our faith will be strong, and our future will be brighter than ever before. I go from this majestic place with a loyal and joyful heart, an optimistic spirit, and a supreme confidence that for our country and for our children, the best is yet to come. Thank you and farewell. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Okay. Okay. So, that was Donald Trump with lots of homeschooling interruptions. Look, I think a key message is hidden in that speech. And that is, don't look, and you never should look to your government for guidance on how the American people will be and will prosper. We've seen this in Reagan. We've seen it in JFK. To cross the aisles, so to speak. And the sentiments of Reagan and JFK, of populism. Because that's what they were, right? JFK was a populist. Reagan was a populist too. That's why he opened up the Republican big tent and brought in a bunch of Democrats. That's what Trump did as well. Now, their policies were not the same. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to like make these people into the same thing, but it was ideas. It was ideas. And the ideas of all of these people in some way or another. Many say this is why JFK was dead, was killed. But the ideas of these guys, of the populace, was that America's power and America's future lay in its people, not in its government. Not in its government, not in its president, not in its leaders, not in its House of Representatives or its Senate, but in its people. And ultimately, in times of darkness, it goes back to people. This goes back to the message I was saying at the beginning by Mike Pompeo. It's about going back. Sometimes you get slapped by life a little bit and you got to go back. You got to go home. You have to go home. I pray that everybody has a home to go to. I pray you have parents or friends or somebody, a community who will take you in when you get slapped down by life. Because that's what, if you're not pulling that out of the speech, Trump's not talking about the next administration doing great things. He's not talking about some great effective government that's coming. He opened his speech talking about how he's an outsider. He's outside of the government. And his policies were outside of the government. It was outside of the elite. All of that. All of that. Wait, is that Commissar Gamza? Commissar Gamza, you're not like the Commissar Gamza, are you? All of that. All of that is the people. The government is a function of the people. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? We should talk 40K sometime. That'd be great. Anyway, it's about the government's people. The people make up the government. They lead the government. The government can lag behind. The government can go aberrant. You can do all sorts of stuff, but it's the people who make it happen. And when the government isn't right with the country, then the people don't need to. Let me word this very carefully. And the people aren't beholden to the government in the same way. When they're not in alignment, the people win. The people win because the governments are temporary, but the people persist. I know people are down today. I know they are. I know people are worked up and pissed off and skeptical. And things aren't going to be easy. There's going to be a bunch of bullshit that goes on. But that being said, governments are temporary. They can rig the game a whole lot of ways. But at the end of the day, it's the people that make a nation. Could the U.S. election survive 40K? God, I hope not. Hopefully there would have been commissars preventing Biden's win. Citizen, how are you voting? You're not supposed to ask. Next citizen, how are you voting? Jacob 1 says traditional schools do not teach history properly. Have you heard of Assyria? The first Christians who speak the same language Jesus spoke still exist in northern Iraq. ISIS tried to wipe them out there. First empire in the world. I know. I've met Catholic refugees from Iraq. They weren't. Catholicism is where they found their home in the United States, but these are Christian people fleeing Iraq. Okay. That's the political content for tonight. That's the political content for tonight. I have some... Hold on. Just got to find them real quick. Here we go. We've got some legal levity to go through. This is way different content, but I think we should, I think we need it. All right, we're going to watch a video of a shooting. There's no blood. You won't see anyone die on this film, on this video. So, calm down. No one's going to die on your camera. There is a lot of inflammatory language. There's a lot of inflammatory language. You might actually laugh at this shooting, okay? My question to the chat at the end is, is this shooting justified? Okay? That's what we're going to go with here. Is this shooting justified? All right. But there, language warning.
Get you pull a gun on me, you live, you bout that. You bout that. You bout that.
Watch out,
you
bro.
Gonna shoot me?
Get me off camera.
You gonna shoot me?
Get me off camera.
It's my phone, you can't tell me do shit.
Get out of my house.
You can't tell me do shit. You gonna shoot me?
What the fuck?
You gonna shoot me?
Nigga, you really?
You gonna shoot me?
Everybody who watching. This nigga smoke germ. Smoke germ.
Man, half of the people that's on my shit don't even know what that shit is, man. Half of the people on my shit don't even know what that is.
Die on live?
Okay, quick poll to the chat. A quick and dirty poll. Who's the shooter in the video? Is it the guy holding the camera, or is it the woman? Who shoots who? And then second poll, who should be shot? That's the question. Okay. By the way, with this last glass, this bottle of wine is killed. All right, here we go. Let's see how it turns out. I'm seeing a lot of the woman for both.
Get out!
Bitch, you ain't gonna do shit. That's the point. That's why I'm on here, because you ain't gonna do shit. You not gonna pull it. You not bitch enough to do it. You're scary. My nigga, you ain't no gangster, my nigga. I bet y'all slap the piss out you.
Ah, fuck! This girl just shot me! This girl just shot me! Get
Oh, no! Oh, no! What do you guys think? Justified or not? Oh! This girl just shot me! What were you doing? 100% justified. Absolutely justified. This dude deserved it every second of whatever he got. He threatens specifically violence against her. He makes a move on her. She's been asking him peacefully to leave. She's been retreating the entire time. Everything about this is justified unless there is something we just don't know at all. She shot me! What were you doing? What were you doing? See, I told you we were gonna land on some levity at the end, right? We gotta have some levity. The source, all I've got's this tweet. All I've got's this tweet. So here you go. Here's the tweet if you want to go check it out for yourself. You're not gonna shoot me. You're not gonna shoot me. You ain't nothing. You ain't gangster. Bam! I'll slap the shit out of you. Bam! Oh, God. Oh. Oh, that was great. Yeah, if she's charged, that's a travesty of justice. Okay, let me see if I can find this other one real quick. Did someone... I gotta remember where it was sent to me. I think it was sent on... It might have been sent on Twitter. Let's see. No. Was it? Where was this? Oh my God. Where did I put this thing? Oh, here we go. Here we go. This one's a little bit different. This is a court Zoom hearing. This is about legal ethics and representation of a criminal defendant. So this is a... we've got Socialism is for Fig says, read me a comic or manga for bedtime, Daddy Nikki. No, but I will be over on Twitch after this show. The after show is on Twitch. We will be playing Ranger Spencer. He will be lamenting the loss of election of Ulfric Stormcloak. We will definitely be fuss-rodaing the banks. All right. Here we go, guys. This is, okay. So here's the judge. These are assistant county attorneys, Emily Weatherholt and Casey Holland. I don't know who Tracy Davis is. And mezzanine is the area, apparently, where the defendant is. The defendant's lawyer is not on camera. Okay? The defendant's lawyer is not on camera, but you will hear the defendant's lawyer talking. All right?
Saying that they did not discuss that. So would you like some time to speak with your client, Miss O'Neill?
No, ma'am. I wouldn't. I would like to correct Kurt.
Always take time to speak to your client. What are you doing? What are you doing, you dummy? The judge is saying, you may want to talk to your client on this. Take time and talk to your client.
In saying that he is going not for substance abuse, it's for mental health treatment. He's bipolar schizophrenic, ma'am. So he says a lot of things. He agreed to this deal. He has it in his hand. So the question becomes, Kurt, do you want to take it or not? You're dealing with somebody that's not operating at full capacity, ma'am.
Okay,
So,
look,
yes,
it says Addiction Recovery Center. I assumed it was substance abuse treatment. If it's mental health treatment,
no,
that's
no,
fine.
he's got bipolar, undiagnosed bipolar schizophrenia. That's the reason for these offenses in the first place.
Judge is like, yeah, I get it. You're saying he's undiagnosed bipolar schizophrenia. But the deal we have is for something else, and he doesn't understand it. Take a minute and talk to your client, please.
I don't know what we're arguing over. He's going to treatment. If it's mental health treatment, I'll correct it to say mental health.
Right, that's fine. But what I'm saying is your client is saying he did not understand it that way. It's fine. It is fine that he has mental illness, but that doesn't mean that we can go through with a plea if he doesn't understand what he's agreeing to.
Man, I don't even have no records of me having mental illness.
Shut up, client. But yeah, your client has to understand the plea deal. If they say, I don't understand the plea deal, the judge can't accept it. It's not a deal if one person doesn't understand the terms.
Just putting that diagnosis on me. I don't have no mental illness.
By the way, Mezzanine would be a legit awesome rap name. What up, y'all? I'm Mezzanine. You can wait inside.
from Florida. I'm not even.
Your Honor, it's my motion at this time to withdraw from this case.
No, ma'am, that motion's denied.
Why?
Oh, shit.
Because
he won't accept the plea, and he's going contrary. He won't accept the, ma'am, I've been to the jail 5 times. He's flooding the toilets. He's causing disturbances. He's fighting. He's been beat up. He's calling me 12 times a day.
Disparaging your client to this court.
What is she doing? What is she doing? My client's terrible. He's the worst person. He's causing all kinds of trouble at the jail. What a piece of crap.
Okay, well, the bottom line is, my advice to him, ma'am, is to take the deal. If he's not going to do that, then I'm withdrawing from this case.
I love watching Tracy Davis's face as this progresses, by the way. It's beautiful. And this person, Emily Weatherholt, like, look at her. She's like, she's dying. It's great.
Ma'am,
I've already been to the jail 5 times, Your Honor, to talk to him.
The withdrawal is denied.
I bet I don't appear again. Goodbye.
Okay, I would like to make a contempt motion for Ms. O'Neill.
Oh my God. She hung up on a judge. Oh, it's based and red-pilled if I've ever seen it. If I've ever seen it. I bet I don't appear again. Goodbye. Blam. Done. Hang up. Hang up. Take me to jail. Oh. I move to withdraw from this case. Denied. The Southern accents sell this. If this happened in like Nebraska, it wouldn't be interesting at all. But it's that Southern high-pitched drawl that women have. And I love it. I love that Southern draw. That is denied. Why? Why is it denied? I'm not showing up. I've been to the jail 5 times. Oh my God, it's great. Neff, I did post the link to that video. Here you go. Here's another one to the She Shot Me. Cyclone 001. Take what back? Okay, I've got the link to this one here as well. So this is the bad court hearing. Real cat named Dave, it won't get thrown out. For that improper representation, they'll just get him. They'll get him new counsel, get a continuance and a rehearing. It'll be fine. Oh, fantastic, fantastic! I love it. The question you got to ask is, would she have done that in open court? God, I hope so. I think I romanticize Southern courts in general, like with the drawls and the fighting words. As a Southerner, we do not claim Miss O'Neill. Baneling, you finished watching Guns? Now you have to watch every other Andy Sedaris movie. You'll love all of them. What happens when defense counsel is held in contempt of court? Look, I couldn't tell you. I've not been held in contempt of court because I'm not an idiot. But that being said, it depends on the contempt charge. There are actually defense counsels who are held in contempt of court on behalf of their client, and they have balls made of cast bronze, and it's wonderful. But this, she's probably going to get a monetary sanction, if not spend a day in jail. And that'll be great. Her client's going to get new representation appointed to her by the state, or appointed to him by the state, or he can hire his own. But this attorney's going to be gone, or needs to be gone. The lawyer went DFE on Twitter. Oh, I'm sure. So, well, guys, that's the... Have you seen the one with the sovereign citizen who is representing himself, the entity, not himself, the person, to a judge? No, but it sounds phenomenal. What could she have done? Simple. She could have gone and talked to her client and modified the deal. What does she care if he goes to... Like, okay, take a minute. As a defense attorney, you're the defense attorney for your client. You set up a deal. The deal is for substance abuse treatment. Or what? No, you think the deal is for mental health treatment. Your client thinks it's for substance abuse treatment. Your client says on the record, if it's for substance abuse treatment, I'm fine. I'll just change it. I thought it was for, or if it's for mental health, I thought it was for mental health or substance abuse, but it's for mental health. I'll just change it. He actually seemed to indicate he would take the deal early on in the call. They could resolve this. All she needed to do was take the prompt of the judge. Hey, do you want to... Look, a judge wants a plea deal 99.99% of the time, because then the judge doesn't have to do a trial. Judge doesn't want to do a trial. Nobody wants to do a trial. Trials are the worst. They take forever. They're horrible. The outcome's unpredictable. You don't even know if you're going to be there for an hour or 2 days. It's a mess. The judge doesn't want to do it. It's way more work. Judge says, hey, maybe you want to talk to your client. Take a few minutes. Talk to them in private and figure this out. No, I don't want to talk to my client. I've been to the jail 5 times. You're on a Zoom call. Just Zoom call the client. No problem. Talk to him. Figure it out. Come back with a proper plea deal that your client understands. That's all. The judge is giving everything away in this video. That's why the judge can't believe what happened. The judge cannot believe that this attorney wouldn't just say, yeah, I'll take 5 minutes, and then get off the phone and be like, hey, we need to accept this deal. You've got to accept this deal. Take the deal. What do? You want to go to prison forever? Take the deal. I don't have bipolar. Shut up and take the deal. The hell's wrong with you? Take the deal. You're going to stay out of prison. All you have to do is go get treated for a fake ailment you don't even have. Take the deal. Take it. That's what you do. Of course, that's what the judge is begging this attorney to do. If a judge ever says, hey, do you want to take a minute to talk to your client? You always say yes. Take a minute and talk to your client. The hell else are you going to say? No, I don't want to talk to him. What's he doing? Paying my bills? Take a minute. Oh my God. And see, Zevin Zoomer, yeah. The client's like, nah, I ain't got no bipolar. That's right. Client clearly has no idea the amount of damage that's being done to the client with his own words. That's why you got to take a minute. Say, listen, what you say next is critical. Judge isn't going to accept your plea deal if you don't come back and say, I understand the deal now and I accept it. If you don't do that, you don't get the plea, which means you go to trial, which means you've already pled We know you're going to lose because they have the facts. If you don't take this deal, you're going to prison. Take the deal. That's how you spend your next 20 minutes. Eric Cartman is a lawyer. If you
Listen, guy, you take the deal. You gotta take the deal. Take the deal. I can't believe this guy won't take the deal. It's absolutely ridiculous. Your Honor, I don't want to. I'm suing my own client.
take the deal. Okay. Gamza, yeah, I have a Gilliman portrait. So, you gotta take you gotta talk to your client. This is the weirdest interaction because, of course, you're gonna, anytime. Look, if judges have asked me, do you want to talk to your client? Because I've had plea deals where my client says something wrong. They're not used to pleading guilty to a crime. By the way, I don't know if you know this. It's really, really hard for a lot of people to sit and tell a judge who can put them in jail forever that they did something wrong. It's hard to do that. You have to sit there and admit in public, recorded forever, and it will go on your permanent record. All of that. You go, yeah, actually, so what I did was I walked into the store and I waited till the woman wasn't looking. And I opened the drawer and I took out $2,000 or whatever, like whatever it may be, right? Like you have to admit to something that's just pathetic in retrospect. It never sounds good when you admit to it. That's hard for people to do. They make mistakes. They freeze up. They don't say the right thing. They try and mitigate. You can't mitigate your crime when you're confessing to it. They say, well, I didn't know what I was doing. They're like, wait, you didn't know what you were doing was wrong? Maybe your counsel. You knew it. You knew it was bad. You know it's bad to steal. Why are you saying you don't know it's bad to steal? Stop now. Cut it out. You know it's bad to steal. So the judge will say, because they know, because again, they don't want a trial. So they look at you real quick and they go, do you need a minute with your client? Yes, Your Honor, we do. Can we have a brief 5-minute recess, please? And then you go out and you're like, you know it's wrong to steal. Of course you know it's wrong to steal. Yeah, I know. I just couldn't say it. Well, learn to say it. Get your ass back in there and tell him it's wrong to steal. That's what you do. Anyway, but you have it. You run into this. But the judge is telling you exactly what you need to do. And that's just go talk to your client for a minute because you're wrong. Commissar Gamza, I have a couple 40K models, but I almost, like, my entire experience with the franchise pretty much is in the books. I love the collector's books. So that's what I have a ton of. But I do have some models here. Here's one. One I painted. It won't focus on him, but it's my Thousand Sun Sorcerer. But yeah, I'm working on painting him. But like I said, we need to chat about it, man. I'd love to talk. I'll hit you up somehow. Okay. Let's do this. That's enough videos and commentary for the night. We're going to go through super chats and justice chats, and we're going to wrap up the show. It's been beautiful. It's been wonderful. And we'll be back tomorrow. and the next day and the next day. So it'll be great. All right, Justice chats first. Lemoyne says, "This is what you get. First you trashed Ronica, then you started the GoFundMe, then you tried to file an appellate support brief. I called in all favors. Now Biden's president and he's gonna cuck your wife by sniffing your hair until you get a boner." That's disgusting. Mario Carter 13 says Joe Biden will listen to the seance. That's why all of his supporters are at the inauguration in spirit. Night of Hope says, "How do you like martial law, mother effers?" He also says, "I told you this was a third world shithole. I don't know why nobody effing listens to me. Welcome to the party, pal." Welcome to the party, pal. Crusader Saracen says, "If you enjoy cooking channels, I recommend Adam Leaw." Yeah, that guy's great. He focuses on Asian cuisine. Great chef who really breaks down the flavors and techniques in various Asian foods. Coincidentally, he was also a lawyer until he discovered his passion for cooking and quit law. I didn't know he was a lawyer. But I've watched tons of his cooking stuff. I like that guy very much. He's also very gently spoken. And he's really good at telling you the various Asiatics of the dish. And I love that about him. It's fantastic. Cal Clay says, "Nick, did you know you're on Google Maps? Either your practice from home or your office is in a house. You got Mel's Sports Shop at the end of the block." No, that's the post office, buddy. The Shell gas station, you're across from a hotel. If it is you, do you meet clients at a hotel? No, that's just the P.O. box. That's where the post office is. Malik Foxon says, "Okay, let me get this straight. Suddenly we're looking back at Putin. Why? He hasn't been relevant for like 4 years since Trump's election." They say they won't. Dude, they're stuck 4 years ago. They're stuck in 2016 because Donald Trump was not supposed to beat Hillary Clinton, and he did. They're stuck there. They can't get over it, and they'll never forgive him. They say the right's full of conspiracy theorists. Where'd this line of logic come from? From their conspiracy theory. Calclay says, "So what you're saying is Pelosi is sitting on Emperor of Man's golden throne since the thousands of souls are sacrificed daily for her to exist. Damn her, kill the usurper, blood for the blood god." Also, Nick, you say Lemoyne is hard, gonna make you hate Kermit next chat. And he says, in Kermit voice, please. I need to say this. Pepe, my brother, although I don't agree with you politically, we both are the true oppressed class. We both like cops. I myself am married to a pig, so grab your guns and sing praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. Thank you for that. William says, "You know from that Lynn Wood video why they pick Welsh kids, because they believe Welsh are the original Phoenicians and Romans, and those cults are sick and evil and believe in blood sacrifice." Okay. Random Blaze, breakdown is tomorrow on Twitch. Tuesday. Monday is games, Tuesday's movies, I think. Wait a minute, what's today? Today's Tuesday. Oh shit, today's a movie. Breakdown. Kurt Russell. I'm sorry, I said today was a video game. Today is a movie on Twitch. It is Breakdown with Kurt Russell, followed by something great afterwards. Malik Foxon says, "Cult much? They talk about the Trump cult when they're sitting there treating Biden like he walks on effing water. Jesus, can you do something about this?" No. This is getting weird and uncomfortable, man. I think we're done LARPing as 2017 North Korea. Mario Carter 13 says, "Brian Settler didn't flag anyone down. He was busy collecting boulders with his wife's boyfriend on the side of the road." Oh, no. Oh, no. Today is Wednesday, but I started the show on Tuesday. So Tuesday is the day to me. Silky Johnson says, "That AIDS-filled lunatic that was on Settler's show, who is probably also full of AIDS, was basically saying, how dare these other outlets have First Amendment protection? They engage in wrongthink. Lunacy is unbelievable. How disconnected are these assholes? Very. AIDS-filled liberal priest." Says, "And the Lord blessed us with his real firstborn son, Joseph Biden. By his hand he hath healed the masses. And the Lord saith, all who question the faith of the firstborn shall burn upon a river. O follower, embrace thy faith that he shalt love and protect. Guy who hates journalists says, remember me from yesterday? I stand by my name. Bad Dragonite says, it's not too late. Trump can still acknowledge Gamergate. Also, Nick, a lot of people want to homeschool but can't, either because of cost in their area or because the system works against homeschoolers, including accredited programs. Look, I'm telling you, it's getting better and better and better and better every single day. And the cost is going lower and lower, especially with the internet. Homeschooler says, they don't make it easy for us to homeschool our kids. That's in quotes. Yeah, not like anyone was going to give you fucking permission in the first place. Either nut up and do it or admit you don't love your kids and you sacrifice them to the left out of convenience. Damn. Whoa. Whoa. Here, Gamza, I'm gonna add a mod. I'm gonna mod you. Don't moderate anybody. I just want to be able to see your chats easier. Malik Foxton says, all you got to do is figure out a way to teach your kids about something once a day. The neat thing you have that a lot of people didn't when you were growing up, a robust network of information, not just porn, called the internet that has your back. Yes, it's amazing. And your kids learn so much. Guys, my kids are learning how to code because they're scripting in Roblox and Minecraft, and they're making mods, and they're doing art. They're learning. My kids are learning skills that will actually translate when they're old enough to work. What would they be learning in school? They're learning how to actually program stuff and do 3D art and rendering. Soon I'm going to teach them video and audio editing because they'll be better at it than me. All I'm going to do is say, here's Adobe Premiere. Go to town. And they'll learn it. You know why? They want to have a YouTube channel. And I won't let them yet. But they'll learn Adobe Premiere. They'll learn how to be a video editor and an audio engineer. And they'll learn how to fucking program and code and build things. And in school, what would they be learning? Black liberation theology, wokeness, and feminist history? Fuck off. All right. Bad Dragonite says, in reference to last chat, not to say I disagree with you, it is generally a better option if you can do it. I went to homeschool for a while, and it was good. You do need to make socializing with others as part of it, though. Yes. Hopefully lockdown ends soon. Lockdown is actually the biggest boon to homeschoolers ever. No, you guys missed how I would teach video editing. I would just give them Premiere, and they'll learn it on their own. They're not going to learn it from me. I'm bad at it. They'll do it on their own. All I could teach them to do is make spicy memes and paint. That's it. That's the beauty of it. Kids are so much smarter than you or me or anybody. They learn everything, and they're growing up immersed in that environment if you let them. Schools won't do it. Schools won't do that. Premiere's not expensive. Buying Premiere is expensive, but Premiere on it's like $100 a year for Premiere. For every no, it's more than that. Sorry, I'm lying. The complete Adobe Studio is like $60 a month, I think. So it comes out to what? $700 and something a year. All right. It's a little expensive, but I use it too. Redacted says, if Trump, oh, wait, I was saying though, COVID is the boon of homeschoolers. Because one, it literally doubled homeschoolers. COVID doubled the amount of people homeschooling. And I don't mean like distance learning. I mean that converted their kids to homeschool. It's basically doubled from COVID because they learned the lie of public school really quick when their kids were at home all day. 2, everyone's at home. You're working from home. It's going to make working from a distance more accessible to everybody because businesses had to do it. And what businesses are going to do from this is they're going to realize that having people in the office is a bunch of bullshit. Because they're paying for an office and they don't really have to. Instead, what they can do, what a lot of businesses can do, just have people and they can pay for their internet or something. $80 a month per employee. If they even do that. Most employees are already going to have high-speed internet. They don't need it. Way cheaper than an office building. Homeschooling is going to get better after this. Redacted says, if Trump really wanted to safeguard the dignity of the American people, he'd have prevented the banks from stopping service to people on their own judgment and made it so Facebook, Google, and Twitter declared publishers removing their 230 protections. First of all, Trump can't do anything about 230. Second of all, Trump did the first thing that you're talking about. Trump did it. It just passed on January 4th. He did it. Biden's going to undo it. We didn't talk about that because I didn't want too many black pills in the stream. Biden has already said he's going to undo the comptroller of the currency rule. That's one of his early priorities. Imagine that. Imagine that. Bainling, why wait till he's out of office? I don't think he was waiting. I don't think he knew. I don't think he realized it. You got to understand, most conservatives have no idea about this. They have no idea because they're not on the edgy side of the internet. They're not watching their friends get defunded and deplatformed and removed from banks. Think about when I told Ty about it. Ty's like, well, the government will do something. Do what, Ty? What are they going to do? Ty had no idea. And this is Ty Beard. He's a politically connected conservative in Texas. He had no idea they were doing this. Knows now. I don't think Trump had any idea this is happening. I don't think most of his advisors had any idea this was happening. Bad Vibe says the state uses educational neglect in Oregon. There are only 2 laws for homeschooling. Notify ESD and standards. If DHS CPS says educational neglect, it is difficult to fight. Get out of Oregon. Oh my God. Oh my God, get out of Oregon immediately. If you want to have kids, get out of any liberal state. Minnesota is a liberal state, but at least Minnesota has strong protections for homeschooling. And they believe in guns still. The Democrats outside of the Twin Cities have to still be pro-gun and pro-life in Minnesota. Because rural Minnesota is at least based. Get out. Like, oh, did you guys mistake when I said have kids? Like, have kids in a liberal state? No, don't do that. Oh my God, move first. Okay. Edris Rex says, was trying to get to the bottom of my folks' rabid hatred of Trump a few weeks back. My mother informed me they're both socialists. And trying to get to grips with the fact that I'll never be able to get through to people I thought were so rational. It's a tough thing. My suggestion is not to argue with them about it. Build the network. Build the network. Build your relationship. Don't focus on that disagreement. Anthony James says, trust the triple-double backgammon. Oh, by the way, the quickest cure to socialism is having your own kid in trouble. Edris Rex says, was trying to get to the bottom. No, Anthony James says, trust the triple-double backgammon. underwater basket weaving, inverted Uno reverse, interdimensional chess plan. Don't trust the plan. If you haven't figured out the plan, probably isn't happening. Ed Gein's Neon Neck says that shoot was justified, but more importantly, it was funny as fuck. Soki Johnson says, hey, Nick, speaking of levity, please say as Kermit, that shit fuck beckons me to the city, only to spurn me like a thin-waisted whore. Once again, the gods spread the cheeks and ram the cock in fucking ass. Weird. Crusader Saracen says, remember, y'all, even if things suck culturally or civically, you have to try and find happiness in your own life anyway. Nobody, much less government, was ever going to give you permission to be happy. Yes. Law Nerd says, as Cartman, please say,
I'm a lawyer, and you will respect my authority. Take the fucking deal. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Unanswered question says, hey, Nick, don't these social media companies receive tax-funded subsidies? Would it be the same as how some colleges that receive tax funding have to uphold constitutional rights? And how can banks cut you off for political leaning? Isn't that discrimination? It depends. It depends on the college and the type of funding they receive. It's not that simple. Razgriz Reborn, we're watching Breakdown by Kurt Russell. Okay. Next. Andrew War Snowboard says, can't watch tonight, but I got back home. Be praying for me as I am very uneasy about this new reality. Josue Tavares sent a one-up sticker. Thank you. Super Iron Bob says, can't sniff the kids if the kids aren't there. Adrian Valladares says, hey, Nick, hope you're doing great. I am. Quick question. I want to distance myself from Google. Someone who wishes to become a novel writer, do you know of any good alternatives to Google Docs? No. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about it. BG Willia 21207 says Biden's worried he'll get sedated. Adrian Valladares says, second question. Can you briefly describe your experience using Brave browser? As mentioned, I'm trying to find alternatives to Google. Thanks for the help. Brave is based on Chrome. It uses all the same plugins that Chrome does. It has the same code base for it. It's just not Chrome. It works great. It does everything you need it to do. That's that. You don't have to use the basic attention token. You don't have to use anything. Brave also has a Tor session built in for like true privacy. Do it. Brave is great. Alex001 says, it's all good until we watch some guys put a black cover over your head and drag you off during live stream. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen. Minister of Hygiene says, it's worse. The security is not Secret Service. It's a private security company, aka mercenaries. Search Pricey Security Co. Hired Biden. It's TMZ. Climb BMX says, meet Canadian here. Talex says, is King Nothing Trump's theme song in the end? No. Austin Heartless says, time for short round to rebrand as only figs unless he's a fruit. White Auk, thank you for the donation. Twilight Dragon 3 says, calling it now, Lynn Wood didn't kill himself. Matthias says, sorry for the off topic, but I was wondering if you were familiar with the concept of Kenku Cross, Monster Girls, and if you had a favorite one. I am tangentially familiar with Monster Girls. No, I don't have a favorite one. Process Black, except for that chick from, what was it? From Darksiders, the fighting game? Darksiders? What's that Capcom fighting game? They had the cat chick and the succubus chick. I'll take the succubus chick. Does that count? Process Black says, think Linwood is going down the same road as Francis E. Deck. If so, looking forward to his future work. Maybe. Darkstalkers. Morrigan. Yes! Morrigan is top waifu. There you go. Felicia is second waifu. But I picked Morrigan. Deadly. Wait, I read that one. The Reddit Silver member says Linwood could always make his own social media platform called onlywood.com. Oh, man. Gordo Fabulous says, if you want a prediction for how the media will cover the Biden-Harris administration, just watch North Korean propaganda. Oh, yeah, and it's already started. The Gray One says, Dear Lord Nancy, I thought ghouls were only fiction, but in Fallout, then I hear you speak. Also, 3 years of baseless Butma Russia, 3 years of no proof. She's actually insane as a certain letter, just as. Breck Nichols says, oh, Jeebus. NCG Goggles says, Uncle Ruckus 2.0 is Eddie Glaude. And Terry says, Romans 16, 17 to 18. Nick, that preacher sounds like this. Repeatedly Banned says, drink the Everclear, law boy. Guys, I found a guy. He's called the unemployed wine reviewer or something. He's a sommelier, I guess. He reviewed Everclear. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I need to get him on to help me with a whiskey review. He just started in October. That guy's got tons of channel growth ahead of him. Daniel Sheffield says, I can't wait for the Heaven's Gate administration. You? Polyfrog64 says, Electoral College won't matter with amnesty for all. Balkanization will happen. The economy will collapse at some point. It's been fun, lads. Enjoy hell. Listen, no black pills here. No black pills. Last Sigil says, Nick, have you heard of the 60 Days In reality jail show? No. Is it good? Wyndon, no. Snowden and Assange did not get pardoned. Big Bat DN says, evening, Nick, just paying my fee for representation. Have I been spotted on the pardon list? No. No, you're not there. Sorry, Fig Bat. But I wish you were. David Blackstone says, notice he also said conservative influencers. Used to, they would say neo-Nazis or white supremacists. Does he just think they are all one and the same now? Yes, they always did. Angry Baneling says, Sai, you know what? After seeing the pardon list, I'm glad Trump didn't win. GTFO here with these lame-ass pardons. What a complete disappointment. Damn. CJ says, is the guidance light for Zuck's mother... It's the guidance light for Zuck's mothership. Talking about the lights on the Washington pond or whatever. Donut Swan says, Nick, Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, and Chelsea Manning are not real whistleblowers. They're intelligence community mouthpieces. Real whistleblowers don't get interviewed. Ever seen Kyria Cow on TV? Nope. Poet Jillian says, having fun on alt? Tapotis. Hail. Sula. Hail. Reek says, Orange Man is the new blackface. Yes. Cover yourself in Cheetos. Are they ever going to get pardoned, says Wyndon. No. I say that hoping I'm wrong. That way Biden will pardon them. That was my deep grift. Asia Frazier says, I asked my mom how I dodged all the mess in public school. She said she read the curriculum beforehand and had me pulled from courses she disapproved of. Based and red-pilled mom. Fantastic. She also says, I never knew why I was sent to the library. Now I know. Random username says, make this homeschooling rant a clip for sharing. Combat Custodian B says, dude, look at the webcam for DC. White House is dark and all around the Capitol building is police lights everywhere. I don't know what that is. I don't know where the webcam for DC is. Timothy Reaper says, did President Trump pardon Eric Clapton? He allegedly shot the deputy in 1974. No, he shot the sheriff. He shot the sheriff. Bob Marley did it before him, though. Classical Positioning says, why do I feel like tomorrow I'll begin waiting for a deathbed confession about the danger of communism and what it has done for our country, or to our country. Anyone else seeing interesting military transports? Combat Custodian B says, YouTube White House live cam. You'll see that it's dark and there are police lights behind it. Classical Positioning says, by deathbed, I mean deathbed of our country. Damn. Don't Mind Me says, what happens if when by some weird way it is found out that Biden won via false votes? Electoral College are the votes. He could, in theory, be impeached. Then Kamala Harris would be next. And if she was impeached and removed, then Pelosi would preside. Jordan B says, it's time to take a shot. It's D-Day. I don't want to pour a shot glass, but I'll take a swig of peg leg porker, 12-year. All right, that's delicious. Probably didn't need that. Master Blasters has been playing a lot of Subnautica recently. Some with a fear of the ocean. I've never had so much fun having a panic attack. What's the dealio? Says, woman lead poisoning a black man. She'll be charged with impersonating a police officer. Damn. I don't know if the peg leg porker is single malt. Doesn't say single malt. It's great. I strongly recommend anyone get it. The 12 years beautiful. It's filtered through charcoal that was used to roast a ton of pork, or was used to barbecue pork. And it does impart some smoke into it. It's really good. AGK says, sent you a YouTube link via DM on Twitter with the dude representing himself. Not himself. Okay, not for this show, but maybe another one. Angry Baneling says, living on a prayer in Cartman's voice. Thanks.
Tommy used to work on the docks. The union's been on strike. He's down on his luck. It's tough. So tough.
224 Vic says, a president can do good and bad while in office. That's true. That's true. G-Man says, Pence is the biggest never-Trumper in the history of never-Trumpism. Just bought 60 days worth of freeze-dried food. Good luck, everyone else. Kidda says, homeschooling will get better after this. The Biden administration has entered the chat. Ooh, what's this? How do you sniff them through Zoom? No, stop it. Stop it. Stop. Michael Mason says, learn latex and use Overleaf instead of Docs. Okay, there you go. That's the answer. Overleaf instead of Google Docs. I didn't know. Editor Sebas says, my parents took me out of grade school because they saw that I was miserable. I managed to get a certificate for junior high and high school with what they taught me. Fantastic. Sinus Phoenix says, if I recall correctly, if the president is impeached before half of their term is up, it does not go to the vice president unless 25th Amendment overrules this. No, if the president's impeached before half their term is up, it will still go to the vice president as far as I know, unless the vice president is also removed. The half term vice president matters because if a vice president serves less than 2 years, so 2 years minus 1 day, if they serve less than 2 years, then they can be elected for 2 subsequent terms. If they serve 2 years or more as president, they cannot be elected for 2 subsequent terms, only 1. So there you go. That's the answer. IWD says, South American immigrant here. What's happening in the U.S. now reminds me of Argentina and Chile in the late 60s, early 70s. Didn't think I'd have to live through round 2. You guys are the people I feel worse for because you guys know what this is like. And you fled it, and now you're here. Okay, 2 more. Crusader Saracen says, well, 3 more now. Says, instead of Google Docs, use LibreOffice. It's what I'm using for my own novel. It's free, has most of the bells and whistles of Microsoft Word, and won't erase your documents. Oh, isn't OpenOffice a thing? Just use OpenOffice. If that's what you need, use OpenOffice if you need a word processor. Linda Marie says, my brother did a collab with a homeschooling mom. She answered a lot of questions. If people YouTube search, can you homeschool? Yes. Benefits and questions answered. The joy of faith. Hopefully this can help folks. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Linda Marie. Thank you, Linda Marie. CJ says, if it's D-Day, call Drex in a hurry. He'll give them all the D. You might need priority clearance extraction team to recover him from Colombia, though. Damn. OpenOffice is gay? Okay, I don't know. OpenOffice is dead? Okay, I didn't know. I haven't used it in years. Crusader Saracen says, shit. My family literally survived communist death camps in Cambodia. You want to talk about round 2? Oh, are you, you're from, okay, cool. I used to know several Cambodians who had escaped Cambodia. That's, I'm glad you did, buddy. All right, guys, that's the show for tonight. That's the show. Thanks for hanging out as always and enduring with me. There will be another show tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And we will be okay in the long run. Things are going to be shit, but in the long run, I'm hoping we'll be okay. And I always hope. I'm not talking with authority there. It's hope. It's hope. Because if we're not okay, then we're not. And then that sucks. But I'm hoping we'll be okay. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's hit the outro. Come over to Twitch. We're going to watch Breakdown with Kurt Russell and then probably another movie after that. The movie after that, I already know the title. It's called Every Breath. Sounds terrible. Should be a bad movie. Oh, excuse me. But it's got my favorite actress of all time in it, Cynthia Brimhill, whatever her name is. The chick from Guns, the redhead, Edie Stark. We're going to watch it for a different reason. All right, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an ardbeg, a bow, more of love rug. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law